This is The Gorge, a podcast where my friend Sara and I gorge ourselves in overanalyzing a game or game-related topic. The Gorge is brought to you by Patreon. If you go to thegorgepodcast.patreon.com, that's patreon.com/thegorgepodcast, you can give us money and we will give you cool things. Sara, what are we talking about tonight?
Tonight we're talking about, it's Indie Week, and we're talking about Undertale. Yes, Undertale. Yeah. For the PC, and then really weirdly, for the PS4 and the Vita.
It's on the Vita too?
Yeah, it came out on the Vita too. So cool. Undertale.
So, this is a game that requires a lot of discussion. It's good.
Yeah, it's pretty damn good, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, that'll be it for us. You can follow us on Twitter at The Gorge Podcast. You can email us at thegorgepodcast@gmail.com. Sara, what's your other podcast like?
Hey, I'm in another podcast. It's a podcast where me and some friends get together and play tabletop games. It's called Big Gay Nerds. We're on SoundCloud at Big Gay Nerds. We're on Tumblr at Big Gay Nerds, and you should come check us out. We're playing The Quiet Year right now, and it's a lot of fun. Thanks.
Yeah, so that'll do it for us. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Okay, no. There's way more to talk about.
Yeah, we're fucking around. But the general, for real, the general gist is just that, Undertale is really good.
It's really, really good.
It's really good. Undertale is, I am behind on a lot of video games. I'm also playing Last of Us for the first time. I am behind on a lot of video games because other video games take up with my time, and I usually don't feel any kind of, regret about, not playing a game when it came out, because, realistically, you can't play every single game that comes out when it comes out, because we're human, we don't have enough time in the day.
We tried it this year, and it didn't work.
It didn't work. It nearly drove us crazy. So, and we still miss things. We miss Prey and a few other things like that. But Undertale is probably the only game that I have ever genuinely regretted not playing as soon as it was out.
Yeah, not getting right in on the start of everything.
Yeah, on the ground floor when everything was hot and there was theories flying everywhere and it was completely insane and everybody loved it, and you had a lot of people, and there's still a huge there's still a lot of conversation around Undertale, but I feel like it just would have been great to play it when it first came out and, let, so everybody could, see, oh man, this is something really, really special, because that's exactly what Undertale is. It is incredibly special. It is something else.
Now, for this episode, because it is Undertale and because we haven't played it, there's probability of other people who haven't played it yet.
Right.
So, I want to, do, what we normally do for RPGs like this, where we talk about the mechanics first before we go into spoilers, because, hey, there's a lot of spoilers.
There's a lot to spoil.
In this game. But there's also a lot about, the gameplay, the presentation, and stuff that we can talk about without getting into, character analysis or plot analysis.
Right, and I don't want to spend too long on that, on all that stuff, because for one, that stuff is good, but that's not the meat of the game. So if you haven't played, if you're one of us and you haven't played Undertale yet, go play it. Really, just do yourself a favor. It honestly does not take that long to clear the two major routes. And I think I put a total of maybe 12 to 15 hours into Undertale. Maybe not even that much.
He knows the game is short because it doesn't keep track of your hour count. It keeps track of your minute count.
Yeah, so I would say I put about maybe 12 hours into it. Maybe a little bit less even than that, now that I think about it. That feels generous.
Yeah.
But Yeah, I mean, it's short, and it's worth your time, and it's worth your money. It's on sale on Steam right now, I think. So yeah, go check it out. It's totally worth your money. And it's even on the PS4 and the Vita, for God's sake.
Which like we've said before, all RPGs should be on mobile devices.
Absolutely. All RPGs should be on some sort of mobile device, because that's what they're made for. Although Undertale might make you cry in public, so maybe not.
Yeah. But, like, no, like, obviously, this is not a spoiler, but, like, the whole thing about Undertale is that you can go through the whole game without actually fighting any enemy. There's always a way.
Without killing anything.
And it turns the game from, like, a standard JRPG into, like, JRPG, just a regular RPG.
It's very clearly based off of JRPG tropes, though. It's okay if you call it that.
It changes it from, like, a standard like that with kind of, like, a gimmick into more of, like, an action puzzle game.
Or, like, a weird action Phoenix Wright game? Like an action... Like, you know, like an adventure game?
Yeah.
Where you plug things... Like, where you like, solve little puzzles. So, when I say, like, an action-adventure game, I don't mean, like a Horizon-style action-adventure game. I mean, this is an adventure game with fighting game elements.
Yeah.
Or top-down shooty-bang elements.
Yeah, weird, like real-time puzzle solving and bullet dodging and trying to figure out how to get out of an encounter without fighting.
Yeah, it's interesting. This is the second game this year that dropped bullet hell mechanics on me out of nowhere. And I'm like, will you people please stop doing this to me?
Like, I mean...
You have to stop.
Niers were a lot more straightforward, but yeah, it's like the same kind of, like, thing.
I didn't expect it going in. I knew, like, it was like a RPG stuff. So I figured it would be... I knew that because it's like a quirky RPG, it would have some sort of weird mechanic in the battle system, you know, like Mario RPG and stuff like that. But I didn't realize it would be a bullet hell. And so I'm like, oh my god, Toby Fox. This again? Really? I have to keep dying over and over again? Fine.
Now, fortunately, like... There's an abundance of save points, so like...
Oh, there's save points everywhere, so it's fine.
Yeah, you are never, like, caught going back and forth. And even, there are certain points where it's like, do you want to skip the boss intro?
Oh my god, which is so important.
Yeah.
Especially for, like, the Metaton.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, you know, it's fun. It makes me want to play, I've never played Earthbound before.
Yeah, I mean, there's no secret that there's a lot of Earthbound in this game.
Well, Toby Fox made Earthbound like ROM hacks and stuff.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, there's a lot of Earthbound / Mother in here. And playing it, you know, I'm kind of like, I know I need to play it, and that's a whole other conversation. I can already hear Ben on his side of the line, like, breathing heavily, like, play Earthbound. And I know. But I can never find the motivation for it, and now, like, this is kind of like my weird motivation, because I'm like, oh, okay, I kind of get it now. Like, I don't know. Quirky, weird, small, slice-of-lifey RPG was not something, not to say that it didn't appeal to me, it was just not, like, on my high priority list.
Yeah, it's something that you kind of, like, noticed and acknowledged, but there was no drive beforehand to get into it.
To track it down and actually play it, yeah, because it's like, I have all these other games, and they're a bit more, like, higher octane, and that's more kind of what I usually go after. And so, but now I play Undertale, and I'm like, oh, I could probably play other games like this and really enjoy them, and probably get really, really lost in them. So, yeah, I'll probably play Earthbound at some point next year. So, yeah, don't worry.
And, like, yeah, so the whole mechanics behind, like, and you find, like, basically negotiation processes, and, like, you know, that whole thing, and dealing with these things, and also, the presentation is great. The music and the character designs are just phenomenal.
I mean, they're amazing. Especially, like, the music is a gimme. Like, we won't even waste time on the music, because I think everybody on the internet knows that Undertale has, like, one of the best soundtracks ever.
Yeah, and it is just it's great.
It's perfect. I mean, it's like basically perfect.
Like, everyone points at Megalovania, and yes, Megalovania is a good song. It's not the best song on the soundtrack.
No, it comes close.
Yeah.
But Megalovania, I mean, like, Megalovania just rules. Like, like, I've been saying to a few people now that, like, the Undertale fandom has ruined a lot of things, like most things, but not even they can ruin how fucking radical Megalovania actually is. And then, I mean, there's other stuff like Battle Against a True Hero and Save the World and
Heartache.
Asgore's
Heartache is my favorite theme.
Heartache is super good. Bone Trestle is amazing. Like, all of the boss, like, every boss theme is so good. People sleep on Muffet's theme a lot, and, like, I'll fight every single one of you, because while the Muffet fight is horrible...
Spider Dance is great.
Spider Dance is amazing. Like, Spider Dance is incredible. Although Muffet is probably the closest I've ever come to just rage quitting the game forever. But yeah, and then, like, the thing is, like, in my notes I put that, like, with Undertale, like, with just the look of the game, I was like, what if NES games didn't look like dog shit? And that's kind of what Undertale is, because it's not quite as, like, detailed as, like, your standard SNES game, because, like, when I think SNES, I think, like, Chrono Trigger.
Yeah, Chrono Trigger, Final Fantasy VI, that kind of design.
Those more, like, and I know that, like, technically Undertale is based off of SNES games like Earthbound. But I look at it and I think more like a late NES game instead.
Yeah, it is.
And so it's...
I would put it more on par with, like, the Mega Man, the NES Mega Man games, which, like, they really pushed the limit for, like, artistic value on the NES. It's, like, around that era. And, of course, obviously, it does things the NES can't do, like the animation and stuff on the NPCs and the enemies, like the way they kind of wobble, that would not be possible on the NES. But
no, of course not. And that's where the SNES things comes from. But yeah, it's basically like it's like, what if an NES game didn't look like dog shit?
Yeah.
And it looks, I mean, like, I was reading before we got into this, like, some people said that the game is not, like, the visuals are its weakest part, and I'm like, I think you're totally wrong. Like, the
visuals totally serve, like, if this were in a higher quality, like a 16-bit style, like a Final Fantasy VI or Chrono Trigger, it would lose a lot of its charm. And I know retro throwback 8-bit stuff is kind of getting overplayed, but it serves a stronger purpose here by making everything more flat and more cartoony.
Yeah. And I was saying it has to be, I mean, it has to be a thematic thing that all of the monsters look so, like, they're so vivid and they're well animated and they're really expressive, like, especially, like, Papyrus's animation sets. I mean, they're incredible. And, like, the monster, like, it's a weird detail, but the Monster Kid's fall animate, like, when he falls over, that animation is great. Like, it is... Coming from somebody who actually did go to school for animation for a few years before dropping out, it has just, like, an excellent sense of, like, comedic timing and kind of like a push and pull where it kind of looks like he gets his face stuck on the ground. It's great, and all of this contrasts beautifully to Frisk and their god-awful animations where they just, like, when they're knocked out in the sewers, which is not a spoiler, or in the garbage heap, they're knocked out, and you press X, and their little sprite just lifts. Like, there's no animation of them sitting up. It just goes, you know?
Yeah, the player character has very, very, very little animation going on. And that is actually an Earthbound thing.
Really?
Where the main characters of Earthbound, the 4 playable characters, have very little in the way of actual sprites. They have their let me see here, 1, 2, 3. They have their 7 cardinal directions because they mirror left and right. And well, actually 6 cardinal directions because they also mirror the diagonals. They have that,
right?
And then they have Ness has a bike riding animation, and that's honestly about it.
Okay, yeah, you were blipping for just a second there. We might trim this part out. So
which always seems to happen when I, like, have something to, like, go on about. Hello?
Hey.
Okay, we good now?
Maybe talk for a minute.
Okay, yeah. I was just talking about Earthbound and how the sprites are very limited.
Yes, okay. You're good. It sounds like you're good.
Alright, anyway,
but yeah, no, it's an Earthbound callback.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah, it's like an Earthbound callback. It also feels a little bit like a weird thematic thing. Maybe it's just that Frisk is so separate from the monsters. But either way, like, I mean, the game itself is so, like, all of the character animations are so quirky and fun, and they get across a lot about the characters without actually having a ton going on. Like, they're not overdone, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, like I said, it's a very short game.
Yeah, it's a super short game. It's amazing. And like thinking of just stuff that I thought looked like legitimately beautiful. Every part of Waterfall is incredible.
Yes. The specifically when you go to the fluorescent lake.
Yes. Oh my god, how incredible!
Teal
right?
water is just. I was just.
It's breathtaking. It's so beautiful. The parts where Undine confronts you in those really dramatically shadowed parts.
Yes, where
she's backlit and it just looks so cool.
Mm-hmm. Well, what I love is if you notice, like, all of Undine's sprites have that dramatic shadow to them.
Yes,
even when
they're so great.
When she's not, like, in that situation.
She's so dramatic that she just has lighting on her like that at all times, which is why she's one of the best characters in this game. And then, like, is it called parallax scrolling? I don't know. The parts where the background is really way off in the distance and you just have, like, Frisk,
yes.
like when Frisk and the monster kid are walking side by side under the umbrella and you can see the castle in the distance.
Yes.
And it's
that's
parallax scrolling?
That's parallax scrolling, yes.
Okay, cool. You'd think I would know that term, but I hear it and I'm like, I know that, but I have a hard, I'm like, that's what that is. Okay. But yeah, even those little things, I mean, the set pieces are great. The castle or the castle city thing when you go to meet Asgore is so cool because it's just black and white. It made me think of Nier.
Yes.
I thought for a minute, I was like, I'm here again. Okay. Sure, I'm used to it. It's exactly the right art style it needs to be. I'm not going to say it's like the most breathtakingly visual game I've ever played, but it serves its purpose. It's exactly what that game needs to have for its art style. And it has its moments of brilliance, and that's really all it needs. It doesn't need to be too flashy because it's a one-man, not like a one-man dev team. There's Temmie Chang and a few other people who helped, but it was mostly a one-man dev team.
Yeah.
So it has its moments of genuine beauty and its brilliant little sequences, and that's all it needs. Like, it doesn't need to be anything else. Yeah.
That's like the non-spoiler review. That's
the non-spoilery part.
It's a fun game to play, and it looks really nice, and it has great music. So let's get into it.
Oh boy! This is like your last warning. If you've managed to go 2 years without being spoiled, and frankly, I actually did manage to go 2 years without, spoiled. I knew a few things, but I didn't know a lot. If you've managed to go this long, then turn it off now. Go play the game. Won't take you long. Come back here and listen to us lose our minds about how fucking good this game is. Oh my god. So yeah. Do you want to start?
Where?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking you.
I took notes on the main boss monsters, the main characters, and just the meta story stuff. And I don't know. Do you want to just go down the boss rush?
Yeah, we can do the boss. Where's my Undertale notes? I thought I had them open. I didn't. Oh, they're there. Okay. Yeah, we can just kind of go down each boss character,
and then just see where that conversation leads.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a weird back and forth. A lot of this,
it's gonna be a ride. So yeah,
I want to keep things organized for in the future because we've been slacking on that lately. But it's hard for Undertale.
But how do you do it? Where do you even start? I don't even know where to even begin, except that I have such a nice I get why people are obsessed with this game, and I know Toby Fox tries to discourage obsession. He doesn't have a problem with fandom, but it's obsession that's kind of the problem. But I get it, because it is a weird, cozy feeling the whole time you're playing the game.
It really hits, there's a lot of games that hit on an emotional level, say, The Last of Us.
Yeah, but, I'm about to find out.
But, this is kind of this is the opposite of what Doki Doki Literature Club does.
Right.
Which is where Doki Doki Literature Club scares you by addressing you directly, the player. Mm-hmm. Undertale makes you feel really good by talking to you, the player.
Yeah, and that is a good point, because DDLC and Undertale do a lot of the same things, and it's very obvious that Dan Salvato was heavily inspired by Undertale, and that's fine. Toby Fox even mentioned in his 1-year anniversary post that he really looks forward to the game that's better than Undertale, that was inspired by Undertale. And so yeah, Dan Salvato was pretty obviously inspired by Undertale when he made DDLC, and it's interesting that they both use the same, and there even are a few of those same scare moments where the game will shut down on you, and the computer itself feels a little cursed at points. But where DDLC uses that to make you feel uncomfortable for horror, Undertale uses it to be you have control over this world, but these are, not to get too philosophical at the beginning of the video, or of the podcast, but we all kind of have at least a little bit of control over our lives, and it's you could choose to totally implode everything and destroy it, but you don't, because you have people that you care about. And that's kind of what Undertale does too. It's you have, God willing, you have this option to kind of obliterate everything, and you don't, because the game has kind of made you feel very strongly about these characters in a very short period of time.
Yeah, very, very short. Yeah, 6 hours is not a lot of time to get attached to most JRPGs tend to be 30 or 40 hours at the minimum, and then this one comes along and it is 6 hours, and you still feel very connected to these characters, partially because they seem to address you directly so frequently.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this whole idea, each section of the game, Ruins, Snowden, Waterfall, Hotland, and New Home, each has a character in it that is they're little vignettes,
Yeah.
So instead of having to focus on a whole cast, each little section has a character that it focuses on instead. So Toriel, and then the Skeleton Brothers, and then Undine, and
Alphys and Mettaton.
And Mettaton. And yeah, I think it's it's smart, so that you have your attention stays on those characters, so you do feel, in a very short period of time, you feel kind of attached to them. And there's a lot of really smart writing decisions in this game, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
There's a ton of them, and it does a good job of making you feel comfortable, and the music helps, and the visuals help. But the big thing is that these characters feel very friendly.
Mm-hmm. There's actually a point I want to get to when we talk about Papyrus that is about this exact thing. But first I want to talk about Goat Mom.
See, we've already gotten off the rails, so that's how it's just gonna be, I guess. But yeah, Goat Mom. Goat Mom is great.
It is a very telling thing that one of the most common stories you hear about Undertale is I accidentally killed Toriel.
I did. I accidentally killed Toriel, and I felt really bad about it.
I did it too, because...
Actually, no, before we get too into it, I do want to tell my story of me being an idiot. Can I do that?
Yes, go ahead.
I'm an idiot. So I was like expecting, like I knew a little bit about Undertale when I got into this, and I knew like the game was probably going to mess with me a little bit because again, I had just gotten done with TDLC. So when I started the game and they asked you to put in the fallen human's name, I was like, oh, it's Frisk, because I know that's the character's name. So I will name the character Frisk. And then the game is like, if you name this character this, your life will be a living hell. And I was like, this just sounds like Undertale screwing with me. And then I hit go. And then I was playing through the ruins, and I'm like, this is really hard. Like, why am I having such a hard time? Am I bad at this game? And I mean, I am kind of bad at this game. But I'm like, am I just really bad at this game? Or what? And then I get to the Toriel boss fight, and I win, and it's like, hey, congratulations, you just completed hard mode. And I was like, what? Wait, what? Huh? So, I guess I accidentally got good, although I still suck at Undertale, so not really. But yeah, that's me being an idiot. I'm just
This is
a dumbass.
This is the argument against having meta knowledge in a game, going into like a game like Undertale. It's, oh, I know this game's tricks. No, you don't.
I don't know this game's tricks. And then the annoying dog is like, you're an idiot. And I'm like, oh no! Although frankly, if the game had given me an option to keep playing on hard mode, I probably would have. Just to, like, see if I could do it, and then I'd give up about halfway through, you know, getting snowed in.
Once you get to Undine, you'd be like, no, never mind.
Nah, I'm good. Never mind, I'm fine. I'm gonna go start this up again. But yeah, no, Toriel. Poor Toriel.
Because her mercy is... It is not intuitive compared to what else you've done so far. Because most of the time, like, up until that point... It's been, oh, I have to talk to the thing, or I have to, do whatever act you have that you think will relate to it. And eventually, like, between 1 or 2 turns, you can get the monster into mercy mode. And you're at Toriel, and you exhaust all your acts. And it's like, eventually it's like, talking is no good anymore. Nothing is changing. And there's no indication that it's just survive X number of rounds... until she gives up. So yeah, it's very common to like your brain as a seasoned RPG player or like someone who understands the way tropes work. One of the things your brain automatically might go to, or not automatically, but eventually get to, is, oh, she was very discouraging of fighting. I bet I have to whittle her HP down until she gives up, or until my character has the choice of giving up. And you kill her.
And whoops, you kill her. And actually, that's a fun mechanic in the game, is that as bosses get lower on health, you do more damage, like, per hit.
Yeah.
So, like, the last hits, like, Toriel do way more damage than the first hits. And so, whoops, you accidentally killed Toriel. And I think, I mean, like, it's intentional. Like, I know it's intentional. Yeah. Because it's there to teach the player 2 things. One, that you can't just kill your way to winning, which kind of comes back to you later in the game. And then 2, most players, I don't know about all, but a lot of players will go, oh shit, I just killed Toriel. And they'll reload, and they'll try it again, and they'll find a way to spare her, and then they'll get to the next room, and Flowey will call you out on it. Yes, that is the big thing. That's the big thing, and that was intentional, I think, for sure. That is set up exactly so that happens, and then... Now, here's the thing, is I didn't actually get that. I didn't get the Flowey conversation. Because... Flowey. Flowey. I say Flowey because flower, but... I know. I didn't get the Flowey conversation because when Toriel went down, I closed the window.
So I don't think the event trigger didn't go off.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
So I was like, no, and then I just clicked the X and I opened it back up.
Oh no!
Like she was in the midst of
funny.
She was in the midst of dying, and I'm like, no.
Nope. Yeah, I did. I killed her, and then I was like, I kind of had like that moment. I was like, should I keep playing? Like, would it be like a cowardly thing for me to reload? You know? So I'm like sitting there, and I'm like, should I keep playing and just kind of like let my choices fall where they may? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was kind of like, and then I was like, no, I feel really bad for Goat Mom.
No.
So just this one time, just this one time, I'll reload, you know?
Yeah.
And then I got that conversation immediately after, and I went, oh shit, this game knows.
Yeah, that is absolutely one of those brilliant setups as to this is what the game is going to be like.
Yeah, this is what the game is about, basically.
Yeah,
like
the whole Toriel encounter, not only the Toriel encounter, but the whole tutorial where she tries to coax you into playing safe, and she basically smothers you with affection right off the bat, and that creates...
Yeah, Toriel, you can't just kidnap a baby.
Yeah. That sets up that... It sets up that one thing, these characters can and will love you.
Right.
It also sets up that, hey, they're not all flawless and pure-hearted and good.
Right.
There are some problems going on here.
Most of them, 90% of them are flawed.
Yeah.
Except for one.
Except for one
because
character.
Papyrus.
Yeah.
Except for Papyrus, because Papyrus is perfect. But everybody else.
Yeah.
And especially poor Toriel.
And it sets up this great, like, it's not like a scary thing or like an apprehensive thing of like, what am I getting myself into? But it paints the image that this game is not going to be the happy, fun adventure that it's kind of pretending to be at first.
Right. Yeah, and it's kind of like, you know, you're getting into something weird because that first conversation with Flowey where they're trying to kill you, you know?
Yeah.
And they're like, run into the friendship pellets. And you know, that first, you're like, oh, okay, so something kind of weird is going on. But, you know, because I didn't know, I only had like a secondhand Tumblr knowledge of Undertale, which you would think is like, you would know everything because I have a Tumblr. But no, I did manage to avoid a lot of spoilers, but I knew something weird was going on in the game, so I don't know. I didn't expect Toriel to be as kind of weird and flawed as she was, and I don't know why. Maybe it's because she was like the mom character. But she is, and I really liked that about her, especially when you do eventually get her backstory, and it's like one of the saddest things I've ever heard in my entire life.
Yeah.
Because this game, a lot of games don't do the dead kid thing. They do the dead parent.
Yeah,
thing.
they do the opposite.
Right. You don't kill people's kids, you kill people's parents. But this game goes pretty hard on just straight up killing kids. There are lot of dead babies in this game.
Mm-hmm. There are 6, in fact.
No, there's 7, technically.
Yeah, there is 7.
Actually, no, there's 8. Because both of the kids.
Yeah, you're right.
So,
there are 8. There are 8 dead children in this game.
Which I think is some sort of record.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's it wasn't what I expected, but I really, really liked it. And I was, you know, because I didn't know exactly what was going on, I wasn't sure to expect like when Toriel was kind of like, here's your room, and it's already got children's things in it. I was like, am I about to get like a weird plot twist here where she's actually a crazy person? Like, what's going on here? You know?
That's not untrue.
It's not entirely incorrect. No. But she's not like a bad person.
No.
She's just like a flawed person.
She is in mourning and she's not behaving entirely rationally. That's all it is.
And it's really sad because, you know, they you read and you point out that, like, some of those kids lived with her long enough to have an assortment of shoe sizes, not just one.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is pretty, you know, like I said, pretty tragic. There's a lot of that to go around.
There's a ton to go around.
There's a lot of that to go around here. And then her death... Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say... Well, no, you go first, because mine's like slightly unrelated.
Oh, her death in Genocide is just like...
Yes.
It's like equal parts kind of badass, because she goes down saying like, oh god, you're a monster, and I realized I wasn't protecting you, I was protecting them, and all this stuff. But it's also like horrifying, because you're like, oh no, I've become the demon.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's very much because, you know, this is a character who has treated you with nothing but kindness, and she saved you, and she's very encouraging about, you know, about granting mercy, and about, you know, it's okay to run from battles, you know, there's always a way around, and you just stab her.
Yeah, it's you know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean. It is...
I feel like Genocide is like a whole side conversation we might have at the end.
Yeah.
Because I have a lot of feelings about the Genocide route. I feel like a lot of people do. So we'll hold off on that, but I did just want to say, like, her death in Genocide is, like, kind of badass in its own way.
There's also very little character development to talk about in the Genocide route, so...
Yeah.
Not a lot of it's going to come up here.
It's mostly just misery.
Yeah. But I was going to say, speaking of misery,
yes?
in the True Pacifist route, do you think that, like, by the end of it, Toriel sees Frisk and Monster Kid the way she saw Kara and Azrael?
I would think so. I think she's already kind of imprinted on Frisk, certainly, like a mom, obviously. But Monster Kid, who is like one of the greatest characters in this game,
he's one of the best characters ever. I love Monster Kid.
Monster Kid is incredible. Yeah, I could totally see it, though, because, I mean, like, they even make a joke out of it that all kid characters wear striped sweaters.
Yeah.
Because, like, Monster Kid wears one, and Frisk wears one, and obviously Kara and
Azrael.
Azrael. Okay, we need to bring this up right now, because I'm going to get confused about this. I love that Azrael has, like, a name like an evil angel, you know? Because, like, that's obviously, like, what his character is supposed to be. But really, it's just a callback to the joke that Asgore can't name anything for shit. Because it's just a combination of his name and Toriel's name? How great is that?
Asgore and Toriel named their kid after their ship name.
That's totally what it is! And I think that's so, like, I love there's a ton of little moments like that in this game, of just these little teeny tiny, like when you think about them for more than 5 seconds, you're like, that's so charming. Like, again, Asgore can't name things for shit. He names the new capital, new home, for example, and then he can't even name his son, like, a decent name. I love stuff like that, oh my god. And so, yeah. But I do totally see, like, some parallels between Monster Kid and Azrael and Kara and Frisk, especially with this whole idea, again, kind of towing back into Genocide, where it's, like, Azrael realizing, like, oh, my friend, this person I consider my friend and my sibling, might be a crazy person?
Yeah.
And that's kind of like the duality that the player can have in this game, where it's like, are you a bad person or not?
Yeah, exactly.
And it's great.
So, let's talk about the best character in the game.
Yeah, that was gonna be my transition. I was like, do I have anything else to say about Toriel? I'm good right now. Like, I'll probably, like, loop back around to it.
The more of it will come up when we get to Asgore and, you know, closer to the end. But yeah, the best character in the game is Papyrus.
Papyrus is the greatest character in this entire game, like, for sure. 100%, he's just the best. Papyrus rules.
He is the ultimate character. There is nothing bad you can say about Papyrus.
There's nothing, like, Papyrus is the only character in this game who is, like, just a good dude. Yeah. He's just a good ass dude, damn it.
He is the only character in the game that cannot kill you. And
he doesn't! God bless him, all these other people are trying to kill a toddler. And
like,
Papyrus is like, I'm just gonna put you in my shed.
You can die to Toriel.
Yeah.
If you are at like the cusp of HP when she does her attack, and you manage to get hit 3 times in her attack, you can die against her. You cannot die against Papyrus.
Which is great! Come on! And every time he locks you in the shed, it has, like, new notes, and, like, things inside the shed have changed. Like, he puts a hot dog in the food bowl, like, the second time around, which is amazing. Like, and like, there's so much that's just so fun and charming about him.
So he's
the only character who doesn't give up on you in the genocide route. Stuff like that.
I read a little bit about him on the Wikipedia page, like, just to kind of catch up on him. Also because I wanted to look at his Cool Dude shirt again.
His Cool Dude shirt is amazing. Yeah.
And his
Jog Boy shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Papyrus apparently was originally going to be a
shut-in,
like a
like a neckbeard with a fedora and everything.
Yeah, neckbeard brony character, and then Toby Fox was like, no, the whole point of the game is that every character you meet is very endearing in some capacity. In some way or another, they're very endearing and charming. Otherwise, that goes against what Undertale is about.
Right.
And so instead of that, he turned Papyrus into the best character in the game, who is the ultimate friendliest, fun guy ever.
Even when you call Papyrus a loser, and why would you do that, you monster? But even then, he says stuff like, well, you don't need to insult yourself, and you're just like, oh! Like an arrow, like Cupid's arrow through my heart. I just immediately fell in love with this within 2 seconds, I didn't want to be so stereotypical, but within, 2 seconds of meeting the Skeleton Brothers, I was like, oh no, they're the best. No.
What's his line when you're starting the date, and he's like, wow, we just started, I'm already in the friend zone.
Yes!
Oh, I love him.
It's so good. Like, and the part where he sets up the trap, like the ultimate puzzle trap on the bridge, and it's like, there's like fire and a spear and a cannon and the annoying dog just hanging from a rope spinning in circles, like, and the annoying dog eating Papyrus's special attack in the middle of combat. How great is that?
I love the bridge bit because, like, when it started happening, like, I know what's going to happen, and it's one of my favorite jokes ever, which is when the guy has his ultimate death trap, but he's too nice to implement it, but he wants to save face.
Right.
And it's just, that's so charming and endearing, and oh my god, Papyrus is the best.
Papyrus is the best character because he's just so enthusiastic, like, especially if you, like, keep solving the puzzles. Like, he doesn't even try to capture you, like, when you're solving his puzzles, because he just wants somebody to solve his puzzles, man.
Yeah.
And if you do, he is like, you are best friends now, my dude.
Or my other favorite one is when it's the random block puzzles, and he's, like, giving you all the instructions, like, which color to avoid and what each color means, and then the random generator just makes a straight line for you.
Yes! Oh my god! And when he says, like, did you get all of that? And, like, one of Frisk's lines is, of course not. And so then he, like, tries to repeat it all back, but he keeps getting it wrong, and, like, Alphys's handwriting is so bad that he can't decipher her notes. So and then he's eventually, if you ask him to repeat them again for, like, a third time, like, you didn't get this, obviously, but if you ask him to repeat them again, like, a third time, he'll go, I'm just going to leave these notes here, and you can calibrate the puzzle and do it yourself. But the machine is broken! Like, if you do try to do it yourself, it won't even turn on.
It really... Papyrus's whole thing with the puzzle, the whole puzzle trap is that old 1990s fake email where it's like, this is a Polish virus. Please delete all the files in your System 32 folder. Thank you and have a great day. And I love it. It's so much fun. And, you know, it's great because you're also making Sans happy by entertaining his brother.
Right.
And
like the bit when you hang out with him, and like Toby Fox himself pointed it out on Twitter, and I didn't even notice it until I saw it on somebody else had like reposted a screenshot of it. When you go to Undine's house for like her quote unquote date, he wipes his feet before he goes into her house.
Oh!
How cute is this skeleton? I love him. I mean, like, he is just so instantly endearing. I did not expect it either because he's such a goofball. And I was like, oh boy, here we go, like another like comic relief character. But no, he is like exactly comic relief character done right, where he's just like super, I say this a lot on the podcast, and I'm going to use the word again. He's earnest about everything he does. He's genuine about everything. There's no artifice. Like, every other character in this game is hiding something from you. Not Papyrus. Papyrus is pure-hearted as the snow. Okay? He's great. He's great.
Yeah, and it really serves to make all the other characters stand out even more. It's a great... Mm-hmm. It's one of the things I go back to all the time, which is contrast. You know? The importance of having stark contrast in your story and your characters to develop, you know, all of them as a whole. And having Papyrus be this good-natured character who sees the positive in everyone and everything, who is quite strong, and the reason that Undine will not make him part of the Royal Guard is because she doesn't want to corrupt him.
Yeah, she knows he's like physically strong enough, but she likes his innocence and like his sweetness, and you know, so that's why she's teaching him how to cook instead, poorly, but she's teaching him how to cook. And, like, how great is that? He totally could hold his own, and he's kind of got, like, a bit of badass in him, but he just doesn't want to use it because he'd much rather be friends with everybody instead, because he just wants to have a bunch of friends, which is great, you know? Like, he says he's made a friend, he's like a dozen away from having double-digit followers on, like, social media and stuff. And I'm like, oh my god, I love you. You know? And his date, I mean, we already said it, but really, when the dating, like, sequence started, I don't think I've laughed that hard in a while.
Oh, it's so perfect. They have the music playing, so the intense, action-y music.
Yes, and the each dance, like, each date song has, like, you know, like, dates, like, each track is called, like, you know, date song, and then like one is called like date fight, and the other is like date tension, and it's so good.
The stats all popping up, and when he put on the cool dude shirt, I was like, I'm done. This is the best. This is the greatest moment in video game history.
This is the best character in video games because no, what does surpass Cool Dude is Jog Boy.
Well, then I see Jog Boy at the end, and I'm like, okay, well, that's even... how do you beat that? How do you top that? You can't.
How do you top... I was like, how do you top Cool Dude? Oh, with Jog Boy.
Yeah.
Okay, Jog Boy, who knew? Fine.
Him popping out of the garbage.
With one hand in the air, smiling, and just... Jog Boy.
It's perfect. It's perfect.
It's incredible. It's ideal. It's perfect. I mean, we could probably do a whole podcast about how great just Papyrus is.
The Great Papyrus. That's what he's the Great Papyrus.
The Great Papyrus. That's exactly it. That is his name. And it's why I love him.
And I just gotta give a quick shout out to his bug eye expression, because it's the best.
God, which is our
title card,
because I've already made it.
Oh my god, it's I love it. I love that expression because
it's so funny.
It's the only time either of the skeletons have eyeballs, like full on eyeballs, not just the iris, like an actual eyeball is only when Sans tells him a bad pun.
And how relatable is Papyrus to me, because he also hates all of Sans's shitty jokes. I was instantly like, oh, this character understands me, okay. I'm glad somebody does out here in this fucking world, because everybody else wants to tell dumb puns. And then here's Papyrus like, bone jokes! somebody understands me out here in this world.
Now, we didn't do this for Toriel, but I want to do this for Papyrus, because I realized, we talked about this earlier for Sans, but Papyrus, I told you, is Richard Horvitz. It's Zim and Daggett and Billy from Billy and Mandy. Toriel is Mary Elizabeth McGlynn.
Do you think?
I think doing Dr. Maheshwaran.
Okay, yeah, I get it, because Maheshwaran's Children with Swords joke.
Yes.
Yeah, I can hear it. Because I always think of Mary Elizabeth McGlynn as, like, the main
Yes.
joke. But I can get it. Yeah, I feel it. Yeah, for sure.
And then
I like the Richard Horvitz.
Oh yeah, he's totally Richard Horvitz. He totally has to scream every single line he says.
Yeah, of course. And Richard Horvitz is Raz in Psychonauts.
Yes, him too. Yeah, Psychonauts. Yeah, he's in Psychonauts.
Yeah. And he does the perfect voice in Psychonauts. Like, yeah, I'm totally with you.
100%.
I'm with you.
And then we'll do Sans when we get to him. Like, but Papyrus, he's just the best.
How can you not this fucking character? Everything he does is so charming, and the fact that, like, he wears the same outfit that his brother helped him make, like, I love him!
It's very telling that, like, killing Papyrus in the genocide route, or if any route, killing Papyrus will, without anything else, will immediately turn Sans and Undine on you.
Oh yeah, for sure. You basically can't, like, befriend them.
Yeah, like, I also read that if Papyrus is the only person you kill, Undine does not give any speeches. She does not do any dramatic, anything dramatic with
really?
it. She will just fight you.
Oh man. Well, see, yeah, because you don't kill the nicest guy in the game, damn it.
Yeah.
Like I said, we're not going to talk about genocide right now. But, like, Papyrus still thinks you can be a good person.
Yeah.
Even after all of that, because for you to be on the genocide route when you get to Papyrus means you've had to already depopulate 2 whole areas. Like, you have to depopulate the ruins, and you have to depopulate all of the Snowden area to still be on the genocide route and insta-kill Papyrus when you fight him. Because only 2 boss fights in this game in the genocide route are true boss fights. Everybody else is one hit killed, because like the way they explain it in sorry, I've got my window open, so if you can hear a train right now, it's because, like, I needed to get some fresh air. But so, like, they explain it in the story that as a human gets more detached from being a person and grows more, like, malevolent, their ability to kill monsters gets more intense. And so, like, that's why they one-hit kill, like, Toriel and Muffet and Papyrus. Because, like, the intensity of your malevolence is so strong that you can just kill them instantly. And even then, so you've had to kill all of these, like, monsters to get to Papyrus, and even then he's still like, I know you've done a lot of bad things, but I still believe in you. And I'm like, Papyrus, I feel like a bad person just watching this on YouTube. Forgive me.
Yeah, he's just... Ugh.
He's the best. He's the best. Like, he's genuine, there's no artifice in the way he acts. He's just friendly, and all he wants to do is be buddies with Frisk. And the bit when he calls you in the middle of running away from Undine.
Yes!
Oh, and even better is when, like, he's asking Frisk what they're wearing, like, to make sure Undine can't see them. I love the line, it's something like, he's talking about Undine talking about Frisk, and he says, the vibe I'm getting from my friend toward you is a bit murdery.
I know, right?
And I just think that line is so funny. Oh, it's so good. This skeleton man and his dumbass cape. And like, just as one other thing, he has great animations, like all of his little, like, poses and stuff.
Yes!
he's really animated compared to other the other characters in this game. You know what I mean? Like, he has lots of angles and stuff, which is cool.
Yeah.
Papyrus rules.
He's great.
Papyrus rules. So yeah. Next, what's next?
Well, it's Sans, obviously.
Is Sans okay? I guess he'd count. Yeah. He'd count as next. I wasn't sure if it'd be Undine next or not. So yeah.
But yes, I mean the Skeleton Brothers are kind of introduced around the same time, but yeah.
Yeah, they're kind of a duo. So yeah, we'll talk about Sans. Why not? Sans rules.
There's
Sans rule. I know there's a lot around Sans when it comes to Undertale, but Sans is fucking cool.
Yeah, there's not a bad character in this bunch, for sure.
No, of course not,
and
for sure.
You said today that Sans' voice actor is critical, and that's 100% accurate.
It's critical! That's the only person. It's the only person who, because I was like sitting, I don't even know what I was like driving home from work today, and I think I was listening to Megalovania because I have a playlist. Of course I do. And like in the middle of coming back from the store, I was just like, Eureka! Oh my god! Because it's like his voice tones, like his little bleep boops are like da 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 da, you know, like that. Yeah. And like that's exactly what critical sounds like all of the time, so it's perfect. You know, let's do this shit.
Yep, exactly. That's it.
But like, yeah, Sans, despite being a pun-loving fuck, is cool. Sans is cool. Like, I get it. I do.
The way he teases Frisk, the way he's always, like, looking out for his bro. You know, the whole thing is that he's like, hey, can you play along with all this? Because my bro would be really happy if you did that.
Okay, here's the thing. The exact moment you would have to be dead inside to not like Sans. The exact moment is when Papyrus has run off and it's just Frisk and Sans, and he's talking about like Papyrus's like goofiness, and then he says, with like out a single bit of irony, he's like, "My bro is pretty cool, huh?"
Yes.
How great is that line, right?
Oh my god.
Like, you have to be dead inside to not be immediately endeared to this character. Right?
Yeah, because, you know, he's like, you know, it could be like, hey, can you, like, I know my brother's corny, but he really likes this. It's, no, right. My brother's pretty cool, isn't he? And it's...
Yes! And for one, yeah, he's right. Papyrus is the coolest.
Yeah.
But for two, like... It's so, like, it would have been so easy.
It still would have been really charming that, yeah, even though he thinks Papyrus is going about and being a goofball, he's still willing to make his brother happy. But no, the fact that he does think Papyrus is cool, and he's genuine about it. It's and
he insists on it, like, the whole game. Yeah. He's like, yeah, Papyrus is awesome, you know?
Yeah, it goes back to being genuine and being honest, and it immediately puts a smile on your face because it's so nice to see nice things happen.
Nice things happen, and weird characters being cool, because, like, Sans is, like, a weirder dude, like, he's kind of more secretive, and I think Papyrus even mentions that at one point, like, he knows Sans is kind of like a weird, secretive weirdo, but, like, when he's hanging out with Papyrus, it's just, like, 100% just, like, cool, nice, older, question mark. I don't think it's ever actually... does it actually say in the game that he's older? Or
Sans
is it just, like, a fandom thing?
I think it says somewhere... I think he calls Papyrus little bro.
Okay. I wasn't sure, because I was, like, thinking about that the other day. I was like, does it ever actually say in the game that Sans is the older of the two? Or is it just, like, a fandom thing, because it's funny that the older brother is, like, a little goblin-looking fucking thing.
Little guy who's barely above Frisk's height.
Right, yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, and like most of, this is the last time I'll say it, because we are talking about genocide at the end. Most of, like, all the cool shit is in genocide, so we won't talk about it just yet.
Yeah.
But, like, Sans is cool. I mean, like, Sans is, like...
Even if you don't do the genocide,
cool.
like, even if you don't, like, he still takes you to Grillby's, and he has that nice little heart-to-heart with you. and then he takes you to the restaurant in the hotel.
Yeah.
And he just kind of talk and oh my god, the ending when you meet him in the Judgment Hall.
Oh man, that whole part is great because there's so many variations on that.
Yes.
And like I was my first playthrough I was level 8 because I was kind of like, I was doing like standard JRPG player thing where I'm like, well, I'll grind a little bit so I can survive this fight with Undine. And like stuff like that. So I was level 8, which is higher than the accepted level of like being considered self-defense in this game. Like before that, Sans is I don't know his exact lines. He's still kind of like, I guess you were probably defending yourself kind of thing.
Yeah.
Level 8 is when they're like, you were just doing that for fun, and I'm like, leave me alone. This game is hard, and sometimes I don't feel like doing the whole talking to monsters thing. I did it right the second time around.
Well, when you do get the second time around, and he has that great line of, you didn't get any love, but you still found love.
Yes! What a good line!
Just that whole thing where he talks about how he's proud of you for not fighting and for standing up and doing things the hard way.
And then he's like, you did it all with a smile on your face, and it's like Frisk never smiles.
Yeah, I was like, X, doubt.
Yeah, doubt. I doubt. Making the Cole Phelps face at you like, I don't know about that one, dude. Although I have a theory that because Sans is in in a permagrin, I guess, like maybe, and that's like his neutral expression. Maybe he thinks other people's neutral expressions are smiles. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe he thinks Frisk's just face is
it's just a big old smile.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, he has like the and just as like an aside, I was listening to it today, the track that when you go to the restaurant in the Metaton Resort is fucking awesome.
Yes.
It's called It's Raining Somewhere, and it's really, really good because it has like this weird, cool like rain sound effect in the background and like people, like the muffled sound of people talking. And it's just like the most chill thing I've ever heard in my entire life. And I'm like, yeah, this is nice. I like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's that part where, like, he's like, I would fucking kill you if it wasn't for Goat Mom. And I was like, oh.
Yes! I was about to say, like, that whole bit where he's like, yeah, I have this nice old lady friend who we tell dumb jokes to each other. And, she's the reason you're not dead.
And it's like,
oh. You were telling me...
Good talk, buddy!
You were telling me a
Good
nice
talk.
story about a friend you made, and...
Oh, thanks, I guess.
Yeah. I'm 8.
Nice. Yeah. Like, Frisk is like a baby. I always jump back and forth on their age. I'm like, they're like 3. They're like 10. They're 8.
I'm going to say Frisk is at minimum 8 and at maximum 12.
I'd say that.
There's no way they are not any older than 12. There's no way they're a teenager.
Yeah, absolutely not. They're just like this weird little sad goblin child. Like, yeah, they're definitely, like, I kind of lean more toward like the 8-ish side because like Azrael is so small, and it's kind of implied that Frisk is the same age as Azrael and Kara were when they died. But I could still that's also just a result of of sprite work, kind of making everybody look a little bit smaller and squattier than they actually are.
It's very hard to determine how old they are exactly, which I guess is kind of also the point. But it's like, I'm going to say anywhere between 8 and 12, and there's no way they're any older or any younger.
Either way, what I'm saying is that Sans is threatening a baby.
Yeah, basically.
But, like, even then, it's still, he's still just, like, a fun character. Like, the bit where, Undine is chasing you in Hotland, and she stops to yell at Sans because he's sleeping at a sentry station, which is great. Like, the first time I saw it, I was so concerned with just getting away from Undine that I was just like, wait, was that? And then my second time around, I was like, hey!
Or, I don't know if you got it, but I didn't, but I know about it, which is where you can get hot dogs to balance on your head.
I didn't get it,
if
but
you,
I do know of it.
If you buy more hot dogs than you have room for in your inventory, then Sans will start balancing them on your head. And
he stacks like 30 of them on Fred's head, which is amazing.
And he has that whole thing where he loves ketchup.
He drinks it, which is disgusting.
He drinks a bottle of ketchup.
So gross to think about.
If there was one condiment where I could probably do a glass of, it's probably ketchup.
Oh god. Ugh. Fuck. That's so. I mean, just the idea of drinking condiments makes me want to gag. But no. I don't like it. Why did you say that? A glass of ketchup. Ugh. No,
this is so unrelated, but it reminds me of that Twitter post about Persona 5 where it's like a Akechi putting a straw in a bottle of ketchup and just drinking it.
Yeah. The first time I saw it too, I wanted to die. I was just like, this is so vile. I will find this artist and kill them in their home. It's just so disgusting. I don't know why, but the idea of drinking condiments of any kind just makes me want to gag. I cannot, god damn it, I cannot stop imagining a glass full of ketchup, and it makes me want to kill myself right now. It's so gross. Why would you do that? Oh, you bastard.
Oh, but that's what Sans would do to Papyrus, though, is he would put some kind of image in his brain that you couldn't get out.
And all of the fucking puns and the word jumble thing that he leaves as his puzzle in Snowden.
Oh my god.
It's so funny.
Sans, put out your puzzle for the human, and he just throws out a word jumble.
It's just a word jumble. It's
a junior jumble.
It's and Papyrus is like, those are harder. Oh man, and yeah, it's great. And then there's all the. Oh,
I was gonna say the fandom loves to make Papyrus Sans a pun master. No, his puns are real bad. They're amateur level puns, okay, guys?
They're really bad, and they're really garbage puns.
They're super simple.
But all puns suck, so really there's no distinction for me. All puns are bad, even though I still love this character. I don't know. Sans is cool. It's Sans has a lot of weird shit going on. There's a lab apparently that I didn't go to.
Yeah, did you know that's part of the Gaster.
It's the Gaster thing, and
that reveals how he has the save knowledge.
Yeah, it's he's a smart dude or something.
Yeah,
I don't know
how he got awareness of the different timelines that the game
resets and stuff.
Yeah, the game takes place on, and it's also kind of implied that that's after that event is why he's kind of more down and reclusive. Mm-hmm. And Undine and Papyrus will mention that Sans has gotten quieter lately, and it's because he's aware of the timelines and aware of what Frisk/Kara does.
Yeah, he mentions that in Genocide. He's like, what's the point of caring if I just know everything's gonna be reset? And that's really interesting. And I know there's a rumor of, and obviously we can't avoid the topic of conversation is that Sans is stupid popular. And there's talk of maybe a comic, because that was part of the Undertale Kickstarter goals. After Undertale's Kickstarter hit a certain amount, it would give Toby Fox some extra money to do other things. So there's kind of a talk about a comic, and I would bet dollars to donuts that it'll be about Sans and or Gaster. Or
yes,
something,
I would,
because the Gaster mystery is the biggest one,
And when you have a story that has so many branching timelines and so many unique player experiences, really the only thing you can do for an official side comic is a prequel or side story.
Yeah. You can't do some kind of sequel or some kind of whatever. It has to. It's almost kind of, even because of the fact that Undertale has so many branching paths just within the neutral playthrough. Your only option really is a prequel, and I hope it comes to fruition. That'd be really cool.
Yeah.
Mostly because I waited so long to play this game, I cannot get enough Undertale.
Yes, that's the other thing.
I'm like major jonesing right now. I'm just like, oh my god.
It's the Firefly conundrum, which is if you're late to the Firefly thing, you're like, wait, that's it?
That's it?
It's over? No!
There's only one season and a movie? What do you mean there's only one game of Undertale?
This game's only 6 hours. No, more! Wait,
no! What? I'm dying here. I need more.
The fandom is so big. How can this game be so small?
It's because it's full of Homestuck fans. And nobody knows how to blow something out of proportion like a Homestuck fan. But yeah, like, I hope the comic happens, because I need more.
Yeah.
And I need some explanations about things. Like, I know that the backstory stuff is not... I know it's technically not relevant. You don't have to tell me that. I know. But I want to know.
Yes, exactly. I just need more content, and this is the easiest way to get more content.
I want to know. And plus, all the art for, like, the fan gamer tarot cards is, like, fucking beautiful. So if they got that artist to do it, I'd probably die.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Like, I'd just die. I'd just die. It's fine. But okay, moving on. Sans is cool. We'll get back to him in Genocide. Next.
You know who's cooler than Sans is Undine!
Undine is so
cool.
Undine is like my role model. Like, so this is like another shout out to Big Gay Nerds. On Big Gay Nerds, I love playing tanks. You know, like and you know, Ben's played like pen and paper games with me before. For like 10 years now.
She always plays fighter, burly,
loudmouth, boisterous,
yeah.
tanky types. Undine is like my hero. Undine is the character I love playing every single time. So as soon as she's like fucking in her battle, she's pointing at she's like Kamina, man. She's like pointing at the sky and like drawing your thumb across her throat and suplexing a boulder, and I'm just like,
and then suplexing 10 boulders, and then suplexing 10 boulders, and then suplexing herself.
She's so great. She's so amazing.
She gets so much more build up than any other character, except for maybe Asgore. But like, Undine's is so much more impactful.
Yeah, Undine has more of a... Asgore has more of a build-up, but he doesn't have a lot of payoff, and we'll get there. But, like, Undine has, like, a great build-off up and a better payoff.
Yes.
Where it's like, she's built up to be this huge badass, and then you fight her, and she actually is this huge badass. And, like, her mercy is just running away from her.
Yeah, which I didn't get for a long time, because, like, the JRPG in me is like, you can't run from a boss battle.
Mm-hmm. But she does mention it at the beginning of the fight, and I guess I just forgot.
Yeah, well,
she says when you're green, you can't run away.
Yeah, but, like, you read it, and it's like, you think that's, like, a throwaway line of, like, you can't run away. Well, like, no shit, it's a boss battle. I can't run. So I actually died, like, 4 or 5 times, and I was like, okay, what am I doing? And it's like, I had to look at him like, oh, no, you have to run. Okay.
You have to run. Yeah, you've got to run. Although if you plead, I think she does ease up on her attacks a few times, which is nice, but eventually, your only option is to just run.
Yeah.
But the whole, like, you know, the build up to her fight, and oh my god, the part where she's on top of the mountain, and she's like, before every human I meet, I tell them the story of how we ended up down here, and then she's like, but forget about that! Yeah! You're about to die anyway! So amazing!
Oh my god.
And her date
is
probably the best one in the game. As much as I love Papyrus, I think I like her date more because it's so ridiculous.
Actually, her date's great because it also has the best Papyrus moment ever. Which is him diving out the window.
Jumping through a window?
Which is just them taking his sprite and slowly sliding it and rotating it until he goes...
pitching it through a window. It's amazing!
Oh my god!
It's so... And the part where he, like, reverse psychologies her into making friends with Frisk.
Oh my god, yes! Yes.
And she, what's that line? She's like, we're not just gonna be friends, we're gonna be besties. And so I'm just funny. Like, yes, perfect.
There was one thing I was really hoping they would do, is that when she serves tea,
yes.
Because she throws her spear at the table and it cracks the table in half, which is great.
Yes.
I was hoping that when she put the teacup on the
table, I know exactly what you're about to say.
I was hoping it would just slowly slide down.
Yes.
And I was like waiting for it to happen, and I know,
and it did.
I was a little upset that it didn't happen, but it led to like a really somber, endearing moment. But anyway,
like a nice talk.
Yeah, I was just like, I wanted that visual of Frisk just staring at her as the teacup just slowly slides down the table.
It would have been perfect, but it's fine. And the fact that, like, picking the tea is, like, when you pick it, it's, like, the option for it is, like, clearly the correct option, you know? Oh my god. So good. Like, so many little, like, throwaway jokey joke moments like that in this whole game where it kind of pokes fun at the fact that you don't have a lot of player agency in these moments. Like, overall, the game, for being an indie game, you actually have some pretty decent player agency. But, like, in the middle of cutscenes and stuff, not so much.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Exactly. And, or the fact that, I don't know which one you picked, but when she's, like, attack the tomato, and you can either go all out, or you can just, like, lightly tap it.
I went all out,
and you just give a little dink.
Or when she tries to fight you, and you can, like, fight you in her, like, house.
Yes.
And you can just, like, weakly punch her. I love that. Oh my god. Oh, I love this crazy fish lady.
Oh my god.
And she has great themes, like her boss
all
themes
three of her boss themes are great.
All three of her boss themes are great. And she has, like, some really radical designs. Like, her designs are really good. And just, her sprites are really cute. Like, when she's being friendly to Papyrus, like, before realizing Frisk is there, like, she's just, like, so normal and friendly. And you're like, oh, that's nice. And then she sees you.
I love her, like, cackling laughter portrait, where her whole head, like, curls up.
Yes! Oh man, it's so good. It's so funny.
Because, like, every other portrait is, like, it's very standard. Like, her eyes or her mouth move. But then she has that one where she turns into a Courage the Cowardly Dog character for a second.
And she also has the kitty face one that you only see, like, twice in the whole game. And it's so funny. It's, like, her troll face one that's so good. Oh, man. Like, she's just so... And anime is real, like, right? Tell me anime is real!
Yeah, oh yes, the anime is real. Oh my god. I could.
Oh, it's so funny! And, like, no, Undine, I will not let you down. Anime is real.
I can't break her heart. No, anime is totally real.
I won't let her down. She'll get to the surface and she'll find out eventually, but I cannot, in this moment of joy, tell her that anime is not real, you know?
No.
I can't. I won't do it to her. She's too perfect. She's too good.
And,
she's too good.
What was I about to say? Shoot.
Oh, no. Did you lose it?
I lost my train of thought about it.
No!
Shit. Yeah, no, it's... I was gonna say, like, she's so dynamic with her sprites that it's like, it's great that, like, just this character gets so much, like, attention that way.
And she jumps around, like, a lot, and she has, like, a bunch of, you know, she has, like, 3 different battle portraits, because there's like her normal one where she's in her armor, and then there's the one where she tries to fight you in her house, so she's just in her clothes, and then there's Undine the Undying, and like, you know, she has lots of cool details, and I love her stupid crush on Alphys so much. Oh my god.
Yes.
I love these scaly lesbians.
Oh, I remember what I was going to say. Yeah, it's that her mercy and the way you get her friendship is so great. Because after
where she's laying on the in Hotland,
where
like,
she
hanging out.
passes out from heat exhaustion, and how do you befriend her? You get her a cup of water and you splash it on her face.
It's so cute. And again, it's like the funniness of like, you know, the inherent comedy of how shitty all of Frisk's animations are in comparison to everybody else, where like her character model doesn't, or her sprite doesn't even really move. It just like tips the water, just like
the water just kind of pours out because
it's really good.
Frisk doesn't have a holding object sprite.
Yeah. In fact, most of the time, like they just have the water, or like if they're carrying an object, it's on top of their head. You know,
it's on top of there, or like the umbrella is hidden to like so there it's in the hand that's away from the camera.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's just like
those little things that are just like
you can only befriend her if you pour a cup of water on her face.
That's
and
so...
it's just
and Monster. Oh,
just like the whole like she spent all this time chasing you and attacking you, and then apropos of nothing, like she doesn't say like, oh, I'm thirsty, or like it's too hot. She just passes out, and then Frisk just walks over and gets her some water.
Yeah, stop trying to murder this nice 8-year-old, guys. Like, don't be surprised when the kid tries to kill you in genocide, because you're all trying to murder an 8-year-old. Like, you know, chill out. Chill the fuck out. Just a little bit. 'Cause, like... like, and like, Monster Kid, like, loving her so much. And the fact that she won't destroy the seaweed because Alphys tells her not to, because Alphys uses it to make ice cream. And like all of these amazing details in this game.
I love, and like this is related because like I have Monster Kid in my notes because like he's like the secondary character I want to talk about, but like in here, like normally this character would be so annoying in this point. The completely unaware kid, the unaware tag-along kid who is like getting in your way, but I fucking love Monster Kid.
Monster Kid is great because he's so, again, endearing and honest and just very, like...
They do a good job of, like, when it's, like, when Undine grabs him out of the reeds.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh my god!
God! I'll never wash my face again! It's so funny! And like... He's just so... He's cute, and his animations are really adorable. Like I said earlier, the one where he trips and falls, and it's kind of like a pull for him to get his face off the ground.
Yeah, where you can see it, like, stretch, or, like, it's mashed against the ground, he has to lift it up. It's so great, and then he just scurries off.
It's really good and tactile. And the bit where he's, like, walking with Frisk under the umbrella is so precious.
Oh, it's so cute.
It's so Ghibli. It's just the most Ghibli damn thing in the universe.
Or when you see the castle in the distance and he runs ahead to look at it, and
and he just kind of stands there and he doesn't even have anything to say. Yeah, he's just stands
looking.
And waits.
He's just looking.
Yeah, it's so cool. It's such a good little, and like you kind of like you end up standing there with him and just watching because it's so, that background is beautiful and it's just a moment,
Yeah.
And there's a lot of that in this game, of just these little... Did you know you can give the statue that has water dripping on it, you can give it an umbrella?
Yes, I did that.
I did that too. It was sweet. And it's such a... And it plays the music, and it gives you the code to unlock the room with the artifact.
Yeah. And then the annoying dog eats it.
Mm-hmm. And you can... Although I did learn you can exploit that to get like easy money, and I did that for a while until I accidentally sold the dog residue.
Oh no!
But you can like you can empty out your inventory except for like one piece of dog residue, and then like click on it so it'll fill your entire inventory, and then sell all of it except for one piece to Temmie, and then repeat that process.
Oh, that's great.
Over and over again. Yeah, I exploited that for a while. Like, I think I got like 200-300 gold out of Temmie before I was eventually like, I accidentally sold my last piece of dog residue, and I was like, shit. Yeah, and I love Temmie.
Oh, yeah,
I mean,
they're in this area, so we can talk about them too. Yeah, Temmies are great.
Yeah! The Temmies are amazing. That's an Ego Raptor.
The Temmies are Ego Raptor. Like, I know they are Temmie.
I know they are Temmie Chang.
Yeah.
And Temmie Chang is great because she did a lot of the art for this game.
But they look
the
like
first time I saw a Temmie I was like, that's Aaron Hansen.
Yeah.
That's a Game Grump.
Yep.
That's a Game Grump.
That was like, I wish that they had played Undertale on Game Grumps. Because I wanted to see Aaron Hansen's reaction to seeing a Temmie and being like, that's just me.
That's just Aaron Hansen, yeah. I like the Temmie. I mean, the Temmies, I don't know, I guess I'm just an idiot. I just think the way they talk is really funny.
Oh,
I know.
Yeah.
I think I'm just an idiot. I think I am.
And the way the Temmies talk are obviously in other Earthbound send up to the Mr. Saturn.
Are they?
Oh, yeah, to the Mr. Saturns. And you'll see them when you play that game, and you'll be like, yep, that's Temmie. Yep, that's where that is directly where that came from.
That's just a Mr. Saturn reference. Okay, then.
Yeah,
cool.
but no, they're
cool.
still super cute, and the one that breaks out in hives because it's allergic to itself. And
Oh, God. The one hiding in the walls, and sending Temmie to college so you can get the Temmie armor, which I did, and it was a slog, but by God, I did it.
The one Temmie that talks normally.
Oh my God, yes. Oh my God. And the save point in the Temmie village says the Temmie Nation.
I love them.
I love them. They're the weirdest, goofiest fucking thing.
Very famous.
The goofy, very famous, and hoy, I'm Temmie! I just want, to make that my background on my phone.
They obviously have a very high-pitched, squeaky voice, without a doubt.
Yes. Of course. They have a weird.
They are Terra Strong at or Terra Strongest
or something. I don't know. By the way, I like the fact that the animal in this game is dogs, because too many JRPGs make me deal with cats. You know?
Yeah.
I always think of Tales of Exillia 2, which I'm not even gonna get into it, but JRPGs, they love cats. I just got done playing P5. They're all about cats. Persona 4 talks about cats a lot. And I'm like, cats are fine, and I like a cat, but you know what's better? A dog. A dog. And this game has a bunch of them, because Dogoremi and Dogoressa.
Oh, I love Dogoremi.
And
an annoying dog, and greater dog, and lesser dog.
Greater dog, and lesser dog, and Doggo. They're all incredible. Yeah, they're the best characters in this game. I take it back. It's not Papyrus. Sorry, Papyrus. It's all the dogs.
The dog song that plays.
Which is amazing, and I want it to be my ringtone.
That's just the Mario Paint dog barking over and over again.
Yeah, I want it to be my ringtone really badly, because I feel like it would suit me. And the first time, this is going back to the Snowden area, but I think when I got to the greater dog, and it popped its head out of the snowpuff, I texted you with, dog! Because I was so excited, and then when it turned out to be a giant dog in a suit of armor, I was even happier, because dogs are awesome. And, it's pathetic how much it makes me sad in the genocide run when you kill the dog. I'm like, I can't even watch.
Oh, yeah, I had to, turn away.
No, not the dogs. So sad. But yeah, no, there's dogs all over this game, and it rules. I even love the amalgamate dog. You know? The weird, horrifying monster dog. I don't even remember what it's called right now, but it's fine. Endogenny.
Yeah,
Endogenny is the amalgamate dog. I even love him. You know, them.
They are all good dogs.
They are all one good boy. Every single one of them. They are a unified legion of good boys. Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
I love Undertale and all of its dogs. So we got away from Undine.
Yeah.
Hey, who's Undine's voice? Hit me.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a hard one. That's a hard question to answer. Because I don't know.
Oh.
Who did you hear in your head?
I heard so many people depending on what she was saying.
Yeah, that's the problem. Is that?
Oh, who does Velvet?
Oh, that's Christina V. Christina V does quiet badass. She plays Homura. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Ryuko.
Yes.
I don't even know who plays Ryuko in the English dub, but it's that.
Yes.
We both agree. because that's a Gynax character.
It's very,
that's just a perfect. It's just a Gynax.
And it's very brash and yeah, I can see that. Yep.
But Undine is rad, and we'll get back to her.
Yeah.
So
she and Sans are the two that are like the big deal.
Ooh, I'm so excited.
But Alphys is next.
I love Alphys.
This nervous little dinosaur.
This poor nervous dinosaur lesbian. I do love her and her big dumb crush on Undine and how stupid and in love they are. I love the fact that Undine slam dunks her into a trash can. I love that Alphys is directly responsible for Papyrus being the greatest character in the world with Jogboy. Like, it's so good, okay?
Oh my god. That scene is just the best. Like,
that whole scene is incredible.
She just picks Alphys up and she throws her in the trash.
She just slam dunks her right into the damn trash. And it's incredible because you think they're about to have like a moment and you're just like, and then no, she just picks her up and just slam dunks her, and then Papyrus shows up in his fucking Jogboy shirt, and that's the date. That's the whole date. Is Alphys is a nervous little nerd. This is like my little nerd moment, but the part in Hotland where she gets really angry about Kissy Kissy Mew Mew 2, is probably the most relatable a character has ever been, because I was just talking about how mad Tales of Exillia 2 made me, and I was like, when she was having that moment, I was like just nodding the whole time. I'm like, yeah,
totally
girl,
relatable.
Yeah, you tell them. Yeah, they fucked up that character arc. Yeah, Alphys understands me. Because Alphys is a little weeb, just like me, and I've made peace with it. It's okay. Because Alphys rules.
Anime
and
is
really
real.
Sad. Anime is real, okay? It's real in my heart. And Alphys understands that because she gave her weird buddy an anime Bishi boy body.
Yeah.
Yeah, she gave Mettaton like a sexy robot body, and it was weird, but it's kind of cool too, because he goes, oh yeah. And then she gets really, really sad in a lot of parts, and then I'm like, oh no!
I wrote one note on my thing, and it is, oh Alphys, what did you do?
Oh Alphys, what have you done? you sad lizard lady. You tragic dinosaur.
There are two of the post-apocalyptic notes you get in her lab.
Yeah.
And it is, the flower is gone.
Oh man.
And no.
Actually the one that freaks me out the most is the one before that, or the one two before that, where it just says they all woke up.
Yes.
Yeah. It's, cause she says they all woke up, and then the next entry is like, hey, everybody's doing great. I'm gonna send them home soon. They're all gonna feel fine, and everything will be okay. And then you get the no. But that one little moment of, everybody woke up is like, oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no, everything's gonna go wrong. And then everything does go wrong.
Yeah, it goes horribly wrong. And then it goes okay at the end.
Okay?
But
question marks?
No, but it's very, again, this ties to these characters all have something to hide. And yeah, Alphys has hiding way more than a lot of other characters. And it's one of the things I like about Undertale is that, it really does a good job of divvying up the plot relevance of its characters.
Yeah.
In the normal story, Alphys is kind of a bit character. If you don't do her date, if you don't do Undine's date, she's kind of just a secondary character to support Mettaton.
Right.
But, no, it turns out she's directly involved in everything that makes this game.
Yeah, she's kind of, responsible for the plot of Undertale, and she's, way more important the second time around in the True Pacifist run. And I mean, that's really really interesting to just, kind of get this second look at a character who, like you said, is kind of like a bit jokey joke character, because, she's like a weeb, and she's got low self-esteem, and she wants to use Mettaton to make herself feel better about herself, and that kind of thing,
Yeah, and it's Mettaton is the one you have a conflict with, you fight
right.
with, and like Alphys is just support in that segment,
mm-hmm.
but here she is front and center and directly tied to all of this, and yeah, it's heavy.
Yeah, it's like genuinely heavy stuff, and you learn kind of like where like Flowey came from, or Flowey, whatever. God damn, I'll never get it right. Where Flowey comes from, and you learn that like she's responsible for, and Flowey's whole existence is just an accident, and when you think about it like that, it's really like kind of scary, because it's like, the thing is that, they establish that all monsters, like, turn to literal dust when they die, right?
They don't bleed or anything like that, they just turn to dust.
They turn to, like, a pile of dust. It's not like dust and they fade away, but they turn into a pile of dust, and so when Asriel died in the flower garden, his dust stayed there, and, eventually Alphys used those flowers and, kind of imbued life back into Asriel's dust. And, like, she didn't even mean to. She was just trying to give, trying to imbue determination into, like a vessel,
Yeah.
And something went really wrong. Went really, really, really wrong. Yeah. So now this kid is stuck in, like, an existential nightmare, that you can't really escape.
Yeah, and now this is also a good tangent, because this is kind of like where I want to talk about this, but I don't really know when we would get to.
Right.
In a meta sense, I love what this game does with EXP, LV, and determination, and how it ties into Alphys, and how, like, you get up until the Sands part. We should mention it during Sands, but like you get up to the Judgment Hall with Sands, and he says, yeah, you never got any EXP or execution points. You never got any love or level of violence.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, talk about playing with RPG tropes.
Yeah, and kind of this idea of quantifying, like, what determination is, making it into a physical substance that not everybody has, which kind of makes sense in, like, a thematic way. Like, not everybody has the determination and strength to keep, like, pushing forward the way that Frisk does, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
And because, like, that's a huge emotional burden, and, I mean, Frisk is their own character, which is, I think, really, really interesting, and, again, a thing that we'll talk about in a minute. And so, this idea of quantifying and making, like, into, like, a physical thing, not just, like, a nebulous experience points and levels, but, like, an actual... Like a
quantifiable system that exists within this world.
Yeah, I think that's really cool and interesting, and it's kind of a neat twist on old RPG tropes and ideas. And like I said, the game handles it all really well, and that it's different because, like, from the Flowey encounter that if Flowey is the one explaining what EXP and LV are, immediately after they try to kill you, something is up, but you don't know what exactly, because this character is established from, like, the word go to be an untrustworthy one, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But it's not until the very end of the game that you get an actual explanation in the form of, well, it's how many things you've killed and how many experience points. Sans even actually calls you out if you don't level up, but you have experience points or you have EXP. He'll even call you out on it and call you a sicko and say, like, you just wanted to hear what I wanted to say, didn't you?
Yeah.
Like, that's really interesting to me. There's a ton of permutations in this game, and I'm pretty impressed that Toby Fox was able to kind of take all of that into account,
Yeah, taking it, like, all these variables into account and producing like different unique results for them all.
Like there's different options for if you didn't kill anybody. There's options for if you only killed all the boss characters. The annoying dog becomes president. Like if you kill everybody but Papyrus, you get King Papyrus, which is great. Except the fact that all of his friends are dead. Whoops. And stuff like that. What ending did you get? Because the first time you played, you had to get a neutral ending, right?
Yeah. The phone call that Sans had was that, if I remember right, it was that Toriel came back, and, things are going pretty good, but they're still trying to find a way out without using any souls.
Okay. My neutral ending was because I had killed more, because I was level 8. Toriel came back, but Undine was pissed off because Toriel wanted to be, like, non-violent toward humans, and, you know, Undine was obviously pissed off because Frisk had killed people. And so she overthrows Toriel and kicks her out again, and is, like, Queen Undine, or Empress Undine, and she's, like, even more crazy and vehement about killing humans than Asgore ever was, which is, like, intense.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh no, I'm a monster. Oh no, what have I done? Yeah, sorry. I got the perfect ending after that, though, so I'm cleared of all guilt, as far as I'm concerned. I've been absolved, damn it!
Basically, yeah.
Mostly. I'm sorry. But yeah, and going back to Alphys is just, like, to have her character be, like, from being, like, a jokey joke, she's got low self-esteem, to being like, no, Alphys kind of wants to kill herself, is, like, really...
She's riddled with guilt.
Really intense. Yeah, I mean, for good reason. I mean, if that happened to you, you would also kind of be losing your mind, because, you know, but I also love that she's, like, genuinely affectionate to the Amalgamates. Like, she doesn't treat them like horrible monstrosities. She's, like, really friendly to them.
She's trying to take care of them and make them comfortable, and, you know, she's eventually decides to release them, and, like, people seem to be mostly okay. Like, when you talk to the dogs in the end, and they're like, well, I guess all our parents are one thing now. Okay.
And, you know, I guess it makes sense, because this is a world of monsters.
Yeah.
You know? So, like... So it's just new kinds of monsters, you know?
Pretty much, yeah, exactly.
Like, Snowdrake's mom is... You know, Snowdrake is just happy to have his mom back, which is, like, one of the sweetest parts in the game. If you find Snowdrake and Snowdrake's mom and dad, and they're all just happy to have mom back, it's just super sweet, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
I love it. It's so good. I love this game.
So let's actually talk about one of the best characters that doesn't get a lot of attention.
You know, it's funny, because Mettaton, we were just saying, it feels like Alphys is, like, a bit character, and then, like, Mettaton feels more important, but then, like, after the true ending, Mettaton is the bit character.
Yeah, Mettaton doesn't even really show up in that last, like, encounter, like, the last boss battle where everyone shows up. Mettaton isn't there.
No, because he's just a bit character. He's just a boss character. That's all. Like he's just there to be like the goofy, fun boss fight with the awesome theme song.
Yeah, his song is the best, and that
Death by Glamour is incredible.
That fight is so unique because it has the ratings mechanic in it, and it's like, like, for one thing, like, this is a game. I noticed this game early on, and it's very, like, frustrating. Is that you cannot pause in battle.
No, you can't.
So if you have something to do in the middle of an attack, you can't pause it. You can't. You have to go through it.
And it's fine because, like, every other fight in the game is, like, turn-based.
Yeah,
you know?
you can take your time and, like, you know, once their attack is over and it's your turn, you can sit there. But Mettaton's ratings will consistently go down if you stay idle.
So you gotta go. You've gotta, like, eat this food and dodge these bombs and hit this thing and avoid these attacks and shoot those legs. And you've gotta hit his heart and dodge, like, this huge, like, bullet hell sequence. And you know...
So, here's the thing is, I forgot about the fact that Alphys gave you an add-on for your phone.
Oh my god.
So I didn't shoot as hard at all, and I just survived.
Oh my god, good for you. Man, that's intense. The first time doing it, I had a super hard time. Like, the first time I ever did this game, and I was, like, fighting Mettaton, and I was like, this is really hard. And then I was like, oh my god, I've got to do this in pacifist mode next, and I'm not going to have any HP to play with. And then it turns out it was fine. I mean, I did have the Temi armor, which helped, but, the second time around, you kind of know all the patterns now, so you're like, oh, I know what to do now. This is actually a lot of fun. Oh my god, yeah. I'm having a great time. I'm shooting these bombs, I'm dodging these attacks, I'm eating this food, and I'm gonna eat this steak of Mettaton's face.
Yeah, and then the description for it is don't ask.
Don't ask, but it's a huge ratings bump. It's like 700 points.
Yes,
or something like that.
Yeah, it's a big one.
It's a big one, which helps. And, it's just so much fun. Like...
Well, and not only that, but, like, the challenges beforehand, the cooking contest, the
oh my
news
God, yes.
broadcast where you have to go and disable a bunch of bombs that are just random objects.
Even this dog is a bomb! Even the dog is a bomb! Oh, man. So much fun. And the singing, the singing sequence
the play
where Mettaton is in a dress.
The obvious send up to Final Fantasy VI where Celeste has to do the opera.
Yes.
And it's like,
man.
The fact that the song's beats correspond with the lyrics, so you can kind of sing along.
You can kind of. One of my favorite, like, I don't know if you noticed it in the epilogue, also, if you go back to that area after you beat Mettaton, if you go back to the stage, there's like a lion NPC there, and he's like, Mettaton looks so beautiful, and it's a dude lion NPC, and he's like, Mettaton looks so beautiful in that dress, I wish I could wear a dress, and then in the epilogue, he's wearing his dress, and he looks great, and I'm like, yay!
That's so cute.
Apparently Mettaton gave the lion dude that dress.
Oh,
which is incredible.
That's great. Oh my god.
It's so good. And like, Mettaton is, like... Oh man! So, okay, this is a thing. You remember I was like... I had a thing to tell you about Mettaton, and you're like, no, wait till the podcast.
Yes, what is it?
This is it. Okay, so in the beginning, right, when I played this game, I thought, like, because this is a game where a fish lady and a dinosaur lady are, like, in love, and it's fine, and everybody's like, yeah, this is cool. It's good. Mm-hmm. I was like, does Mettaton have a crush on Napstablook? Because, like, you know,
they have, like, a little moment at, like, it's Napstablook who's the first caller.
Yes, you know, at one point he's like, would you smooch a ghost?
During the thing.
Like, he says, shit, what was it? Like, he knows, like, Napstablook's voice, right? I was like, oh, I was like, that'd be funny. You know, like, I didn't really think of anything beyond that. I'd be like, oh, that'd be kind of funny, like, you know. No, it's even better than that. Oh my god. So, Mettaton is a ghost.
Is he?
And he's like, he's Napstablook's cousin. The house next door to Napstablook's house is Mettaton's old house. And so Blookie is his cousin.
Oh my god.
And once he got famous, he stopped hanging out with his cousin, even though, like, he was always promising that they'd be like a band together, kind of thing. And so, like, he met Alphys at a human appreciation club, and, like, he doesn't like any of Alphys's nerd shit, but he loves Alphys. And so, like, Alphys built him a cool robot superstar body, and yeah, that's what it is. And so, like,
god.
the way that, like, the mad dummy, you know, that you have to fight in sewers, which was a great fight, by the way. We didn't even talk about that. But, like, that fight, so, like, he's one of those where he's, like, inhabiting a body instead. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god, that's so great.
It's so funny. So, yeah, he used to be just, like, a little wispy ghosty thing. And at the end of the game, in the epilogue, he mentions that he's gonna have Blook and Shiren, you know, one of the monster encounters?
Yes, Shiren, yeah.
Him and Shiren and Napstablook are all gonna, like, be in a thing together.
Oh my god, I just got it. Shiren is a siren.
Yeah, she's a shy siren, yeah. You didn't get it,
that
Mr.
one.
Mr. fucking Pun Lord didn't get that one? Seriously? Man, I got that one.
I never said her name out loud.
I got one on you for once.
Yeah, you did. But yeah, that's so cute, and I love that. And
it's precious.
Yeah, and speaking of that moment, like when Napstablook does call, yeah, I cried when they were all talking about how they're gonna miss Metaton when he goes to the surface.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I was getting weepy at that.
It's so good. It's just such a nice little moment, and he's just so, like, sad, and then he's like, humans have plenty of stars and idols, but monsters only have me, and I was like, oh, Metaton, you're still kind of an idiot, but I love you.
Now, Metaton's voice actor is easy, and that is Justin McElroy doing Taco.
Yep, that's an easy one. That's a simple one.
And Alphys, we forgot to do her. I am going to make a pitch. I know it's kind of controversial. I'm going to say Ion from Abyss.
Oh, Aaron Fitzgerald?
But way more nasal.
Way more... Well, yeah, I could see that, because Aaron Fitzgerald plays Tipo.
Yes.
So, yeah. Yeah, alright. I can get behind that one. Sure.
I think she's also Nurgle Jr. and Billy and Mandy.
Oh,
if you remember that
Shut
voice.
up. Yes, I do.
That's what immediately came up for Alphys for me.
Okay.
Just that,
I can get behind
really,
that.
really nerdy nasal voice.
Yeah. I can get behind it. Sure. Yeah, that works. I like Aaron Fitzgerald when she isn't doing her Ion voice. It's fine. And her Chie.
Yeah, but she's
wrong podcast.
Like we said, like she's bad as Chie because Chie is actually a pretty normal teenager, and her voice sounds like a cartoon character, which is what Alphys is.
Alphys is a cartoon character.
Yeah, so it works.
So it works perfectly.
Next, this one's really quick because she doesn't do a lot, but Muffet. I want to talk about Muffet for a little bit.
The only thing I would even remotely say about Muffet is, like I said, the closest I've ever come to rage quitting and actually restarting the game to kill everybody in the game was because of Muffet.
You know what I found out? If you have a spider cookie...
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You can just eat it and she'll leave you alone.
Yeah, I saved one for my pacifist run, like my second run through the game. I literally bought one and then just shoved it in a box until it was time to fight Muffet, and that's it. Yeah.
So I found out she's a Kickstarter character.
Is she?
She's a fan character that was part of the reward tier. And so that's why she has a boss theme and like an encounter, but not really a lot of plot relevance.
Right. Okay.
But yeah.
I mean, like, her design is super cute.
Oh, I love
it. Spider Dance is incredible. Like, the song is incredible. But that boss fight is bullshit.
Boss fight's very, very hard.
The boss fight is very, very hard, and there's a lot of fight. Like you cannot slide back and forth on that line. Like, when you're running away from her little dude, her little pet thingy, you can't slide back and forth on that line fast enough to avoid being hit by the dude or by the spiders on the net at the same time. Like, it's not possible. And if somebody can do it, fuck you. I don't like you. So yeah, fuck that shit. I don't like the Muffet fight. I like her character design, and Spider Dance is a radical song.
And I love that, like, you win that fight because she gets a call that says that you didn't hurt any spiders because there are no spider enemies in the game.
There are no spider enemies in the whole game, yeah. Yeah. She's, but, like, really, her design is precious. Oh my god, it's adorable.
It's great, she's great. And she has the cute evil laugh thing.
Yes, and her little spider minions that show what's up next is really fun, even if it is total bullshit sometimes. I hate that boss fight so fucking much. Oh my god. Okay, next.
Next, well, we're getting close to the end here, so it's Asgore, actually.
I actually don't have a lot to say about Asgore.
The thing with Asgore is that, like, he's very much built up and he's like a ever-present thing throughout the game because a lot of characters talk about him, but his actual, like, his story's actually...
Contribution?
It's very straightforward.
Yeah.
There's there's not a lot to discuss because it's all laid out. Is that he's very reluctant to take the souls of the children.
Because you're killing babies.
The thing is that Toriel. There's one thing I do want to note about him is that with Toriel, because that's like the main focus of their relationship, is that she is so distant to him, not just because of the plan he's going through, but because he's so reluctant to do it in the first place.
And the fact that there was an easy way to do it.
When he could just go to the surface and kill 7 children right off the bat, and that'll be it. But
no, the thing is that they mention in what really gets me is that it's mentioned in the flavor text in the waterfall is that human souls stick around for a while after they've died. All Asgore would have to do is go collect the souls of 6 recently deceased people.
Yeah.
He wouldn't even have to kill anybody.
But
he would only have to kill the one you only have to kill the one person to get outside the barrier.
Yeah. But the fact is, he has this plan, which is not a good plan in the first place.
No.
And he's dragging his heels to do it.
Yeah, and because he doesn't want to hurt anybody, but because he kind of keeps dragging his heels, he makes it worse. But it's also the people in the underground's only hope at this point.
Yeah.
Hopes and dreams, which is a repeated motif in this game.
It's the idea that Toriel's explicit purpose with him is, not only do you have this bad plan that I hate, but you aren't even committed to it.
Yeah, you don't even have the guts to do it, yourself. Because it's also kind of implied that some of these humans are killed by Undine and such before they even get to Asgore.
Yeah,
he doesn't even do the deed sometimes.
Or because of the layout of the equipment you can pick up, they died on their journey.
Yeah, the ballerina skirt and shoes and things like that. They're kind of
scattered, and it's the implication is that they didn't make it to anyone. They died of natural causes of some way,
or just any rando monster in the world, or they just couldn't make it, and so then their souls are still hanging out in the underground, and all it takes is somebody to just go and collect them, and so it's just a bad plan overall, and it's a horrible plan because it does involve the murder of small children who can't fight back. I mean, technically one kid does have the ability to kill every monster, but you've got to have the determination to do it.
You've got to have the not only the in-game determination, but also the drive to start murdering. So
and
but there are a few other things about Asgore specifically. Is that I love that he keeps that not he doesn't, but you keep track of the number of times you've died against him, which is really cool. And I didn't notice it at first because I died to him 4 or 5 times. It's a hard battle.
Because if you haven't been grinding, it's a hard battle. It's
I had to go and sell all of my gear and buy a bunch of glam burgers to make it through.
Yeah.
But when you confront him, you tell him how many times he's killed you so far, and. I got shook when he destroyed the mercy button.
That was a moment.
That was oh, this is it.
This is some final boss fight. Because shit right here.
They make it the point Undine and Sans both kind of make the point. You're gonna have to fight Asgore. There's no way around it. You'll have to fight him. And you're no, the whole game is I'm not going to fight anyone. And then he destroys the mercy button, and you were thinking, oh shit, I've got to fight him.
Oh no, the game lied to me! And then the part when you can, fight or spare him, I like that the mercy button is, cracked, it's been taped back together.
Yeah.
That's a nice little detail. That's a really good detail. Asgore has a dope theme, again.
He's got a great theme.
He has really cool looking attacks and stuff, his sprites are all really cool, considering he's such a goofy dad.
He's got that whole goofy dad vibe, and he's wearing the cape, And then you get into the boss fight, and he flips the cape out, and it's armor, and he pulls out this gigantic trident.
Yes! Oh, man!
And you're oh, right!
So dope.
Yes!
Oh, right! This is a final boss fight! I forgot. Whoops!
But his whole character, it's very straightforward, it's very simple, and I think that's kind of the point, is because he's not the real final battle.
Right, yeah, Asgore is kind of built up, and I did, when Toriel mentions that Asgore, when you're leaving the ruins, that Asgore will kill you, I did think, like, oh shit, Asgore is, like, a big deal, because I didn't know much about the game.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my god, Asgore is, like, a big deal, okay, and then, turns out, surprise, no he's not.
No, there's
Asgore
another.
is chump change.
Yeah.
There is another, and he's way worse. Photoshop Flowey is terrifying.
Yeah, well, let's go right in, because there's not much more I want to say about Asgore.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of strong feelings about Asgore to really, like, expound upon.
Yeah, because again, like, it's straightforward and it's simple, and like the other characters, their reactions to his actions are worthy of more discussion,
more interesting.
And
yeah.
But again, I do like the fact that he is a very flawed character, but he's also still very endearing, and by the end of it, you don't hate him, you don't.
No.
You may not like him, and I like that Toriel is still very cold to him. Mm-hmm. But, by the end of the True Pacifist, he's working for her, so I guess they're on speaking terms again.
Which is good.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all you can ask for sometimes. Sometimes mom and dad get divorced and they never get back together, but they still hang out, which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not the important one.
Let's fucking talk about Photoshop Flowey.
Photoshop Flowey is fucking terrifying.
How,
holy shit.
I was legit scared when I fought him, and how there is nothing like that in the game.
The moment, I wasn't expecting it, because I wasn't expecting some DDLC shit. Like, I knew that, when I knew that Flowey was going to be a big deal, and I knew that, like, Flowey was aware of my saving and resetting and stuff, right?
Yes.
I was not prepared for the DDLC shit when he took the souls, and then you hear the creepy laugh, and then the game crashes.
Yes!
I was not prepared for that, and I was just like, what the fuck just happened to me?
Because it's like, oh yes, he does save state stuff, obviously, there's no way that can go wrong, and then he crashes the game, and you're like, oh, and
it's one of those,
and then
we're here now.
And then you and I would think, oh, someone played Undertale when they were making their game.
Yeah.
Dan Silvano played Undertale. Oh.
Dan Silvano played Undertale a lot.
Again, that's totally fine. That's great, because this game deserves to be, like, used as a reference point, because it's
riffed on
it changed the playing field. So yes, obviously that's a great thing. There is nothing wrong with borrowing elements that shocked people before. Like, you can do your own thing with them.
Yeah, taking an idea and then seeing an idea that's used for like a horror moment in a generally straightforward game, and then building a whole horror game around it is cool.
Now,
like, that's not a bad thing. It's awesome.
And like, straight up, the save state attack where he reloads in the middle of battle.
Oh man,
that
so
got
good.
me bad.
That's so awesome, and just that song is great because it's so like
discordant.
It's all over the place. It's discordant is a good word. It's a different style here. It's creepy music, and then it's like
it's this crazy I don't even know how to describe it. It's just a mess of a track. There's so many instruments and beats going on in it that it's like. It totally fits.
It's got an what's it called? The amen chord. Do you know what the amen chord is?
Yeah.
It's got like the amen chord in it, and then it'll switch over to like what sounds kind of like the 8-bit version of like Gregorian or chiptune version of Gregorian chanting, and then it's just like weird nonsense sounds, and it's great because that's exactly what Photoshop Flowey is. He's just like this horrible amalgamation, and he has the scariest fucking faces.
Oh my god, that real
red-eyed?
face.
Yeah. Oh, I don't like it.
The staticky real face animation.
Yeah.
No.
I don't like it. Nope.
And then
Flowey and Metaton are the only two characters with actual vocal tracks.
Yeah.
Because Metaton has his "oh yeah," and then Flowey has the "that sounds like a great idea,"
yes.
And then that's when he crashes the game.
Which is from something.
It's from McDonald's commercial.
Yes, that's it. Oh my god!
It's from a 1960s McDonald's commercial that has been sampled a lot.
Oh my
apparently.
god! But no, that whole battle is great because not just that, but also getting power from the 6 souls.
Oh, it's like such a cheesy moment, but like when it happens, because I'm like on my last leg at this point. I'm like, I don't know if I can keep doing this. And then like they start dropping heals for you. I'm like, oh my god, thank you so much.
Yeah, and then you go through each one and like each like different new thing.
Oh man, and those sections are so cool,
Yeah.
right? Because they're so weird and the visuals are so different, and you know the mechanics for dodging the attacks. At one point you're dodging words and you're dodging like teardrops and things like that. It's such just a cool, like the visuals are so interesting.
And then you hit the act button and it turns into heals and the music.
Yes.
You get a brief reprieve where it's just like quiet, peaceful music.
Yeah. It's a great fight. I honestly like it more than the
true final
God of
battle.
Hyperdeath fight. Yeah. The God of Hyperdeath fight is fine, and these are the same characters,
Yeah.
so you can kind of merge these two conversations.
Like Flowey and Azrael are the same person, so like it's like like I think I agree with you in that I liked the overall like fight mechanics of the Photoshop Flowey more. It was way more intense. I had a fairly easy time with Azrael.
Yeah, oh, me too. I didn't really have a hard time with Azrael. I think I died twice.
And for one thing, you can't die permanently. Your determination
exactly.
always restores you, but like he has like his Starstorm attack is not that hard to dodge.
Yeah. No, not really.
The sword attack is super easy to dodge.
Yeah, it's crazy telegraph.
And then what was his other attack that he does?
The stars attack.
No, I can do the stars. There was a third one he does.
Oh no, the one with it's like the trails of light thing. Is that what you're talking
about?
Yeah,
the
where he shoots and it's like he shoots beams at you and they have little tails.
Yeah, with the little reticles and stuff. Yeah. That one I had a little bit of trouble with when he got like into Mark II with it.
Yeah, and it's like tons and tons of stuff on the screen at once. That one's a little bit harder to deal with, but you can kind of like you once you get used to it, you know where the dead zones are. You know where they just don't hit because of the way the attack is scripted. The God of Hyperdeath fight, the Azrael fight, is more like emotionally like a big like moment, my god, you know. But real quickly, I just like the mechanics of the Photoshop Flowey fight more.
Yeah, and I like his design way more as like a final
really
boss. Like, oh my god,
conceptually, it's just really interesting. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hold on.
Am I losing you again?
It's good now. It's stabilized.
Okay. Where did you?
I lost you. We were just talking about how Photoshop Flowey is crazy.
I love, like I said, I just like the mechanics of it more.
That one, I think overall I like the what happens in the Azrael fight, but the Photoshop Flowey is, it feels like way more of like a fucking final boss. Like,
it feels like a real test of skill of everything you've learned over the game.
Because apparently, it didn't happen to me, but apparently you can die in the Photoshop Flowey fight.
Yes, you can. That's bullshit. I did.
I must have gotten lucky because I was like, oh, this is a fight where you just have to, you can't die. I get it. And I guess I just got lucky.
You did. I only died once. It was at the very beginning when he does his first, like, crazy salvo of attacks.
Yeah.
You know? Where it's like fire and the vines and all this crazy shit's happening at once. And I'm like, oh my god. I don't know how to learn all these patterns at once. So that was like, it was such like an assault of information that I was just like, oh my god, I don't know what I'm doing. And then I died.
Yep.
And then actually if you die, the game crashes. It just kicks you out.
Oh, that's
you can't
cool.
Go to like it's awesome. You can't go back to like a reload screen. The game just crashes and you have to reopen it. And then Flowey taunts you and says like, you're going to be doing this forever with me.
Oh, that's great.
It's great. That said, because I know you're dying to talk about it, the Azrael fight has a way better emotional payoff.
Oh my god, it so absolutely does.
It totally does.
I'm honestly surprised that you liked it as much as you did.
I did, because it's all about, we've had this conversation before, it's just like with Nier, it's the difference between the ending the ending E for Automata and the ending for P5. It's how you sell it. That's all it is. If it feels genuine, if it feels like it's coming from a place deep in your heart, and if you really know the characters involved and you're really involved in the story, then like those big rallying moments of you can do it, we're all rooting for you, you can sell it to me. P5's is just corny and terrible. It's just bad, okay? It's overdone. It's like the cheesiness of P4s, but without all of the, like, emotional threads, because these are just rando assholes. And I know you're about to say, like, hey, what about the fact that all the people at the end of Nier Automata are rando assholes? Yeah, but those are rando assholes who have suffered the same thing as me, so they know what I'm going through.
I guess the difference boils down to that, like, Undertale has been very endearing and like gung-ho friendship since the beginning, and it is that kind of game, and that's why it pays off as well as it does.
And honestly, the lines themselves, the writing in those moments is not that corny. It's like, it's all like, yeah, we believe in you and stuff like that, but like, I can't put it into words, but the line writing itself reads more naturalistically and sounds like what people would actually say to encourage you, versus like people cheering in the streets and yeah, Phantom Thieves. I hate that fucking part of that game so much. Oh my god.
But no, what I really like about that is that, you know, you have to save them.
Yeah. Oh man,
and
it's so good.
There's two bits I like, which is that two of them, Sans and Papyrus and Toriel and Asgore are together.
Yeah.
And in order to save both of them, you have to be nice to Papyrus. You don't.
Oh, really?
You don't have to say anything to Sans. You have to be nice to Papyrus, and that will save both Sans and Papyrus.
Oh, Sans loves his brother. Come on, how could you not be endeared to that?
Which is great. But to me, the better one, I think, just like slightly better, is that to save Toriel and Asgore, you have to be nice to Asgore.
Really?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's obvious Sans cares about his brother and loves his brother dearly. He's made that pretty clear.
That's pretty obvious, yeah.
But the fact that deep down Toriel still feels affection for Asgore.
Well,
is...
Yeah, because it's... Okay, so, like, the thing is that unless your parents' divorce was just, like, this hugely traumatic thing... my mom says this to me a lot. My parents have been divorced since I was, like, 2, right? My parents basically have never been together my entire life. And that's fine, you know, you make peace with it. But my mom tells me all the time, she's like, yeah, I still, you know, I love your father platonically because it resulted in the two of you. Me and my brother. So, like, you know, she says all the time, she's like, yeah, I want to stay on a friendly relationship terms with your dad because I still care about him just because of, like, he was a part of my life for that period of time, and so, like, I still care about him from, like, an emotional standpoint. And, like, that's where Toriel is coming from. Yeah, it's obvious. But, like, yeah, even if she's so angry at Asgore, it's like...
Yeah, well, that...
Yeah, but without him, there wouldn't be Asriel.
Yeah,
you know?
to me, that's the difference, is that, like, because all we've seen of Toriel is how cold and indifferent she seems to be towards Asgore. And you get the idea that the thing with Asriel and Kara probably happened pretty recently, like, fairly...
No, it happened a long time. I mean, it's happened long enough ago for 6 kids to fall down a hole. I mean, it's been a while.
So, yeah, it's hard to pinpoint because Toriel and Asgore stopped aging when their kids died.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, you know, you get the idea that, like, no matter how much time has passed, it feels recent to them.
Yeah, exactly.
But
of course, it never goes away.
Yeah, but still, that idea that, like, despite how angry she is at him and how, like, cold and how easily she brushes him off, like, yeah, in order to get her back, you need to be nice to Asgore.
Yeah, and I mean, that's such a good, it's a good reflection on her as a character.
Yeah, it's just very sweet, and...
It is sweet. I love that.
God.
That's so good. I didn't know that. That's beautiful. That's so beautiful. I love you, Goat Mom.
And, like, and, you know, all the little things they say, like, when you are saving them.
Yeah.
It's just, it's so sweet, and
It's beautiful. I mean, like, that whole sequence is, like, it's done so right because you just, I love the whole, you can't save yourself, but maybe you can save somebody else.
Yeah.
Like, how beautiful of a line is that? Oh my god, Toby Fox, come on.
And then when you saved all 6 of them, and you go to save again,
there's still someone left.
Yeah, and it just says someone else.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's so beautiful.
And you get one of the few times that Frisk has a different sprite.
When she hugs Azrael?
Yeah, when she hugs Azrael at the end is one of the few times that they actually have a different sprite. What do you said she a few times, like...
Oh, I kind of I don't know, because I know that canonically...
I tend to default toward, like, it's ambiguous, and, like,
right.
It's intentionally ambiguous so that you can go either way, and, like, I tend to just use they because it works,
yeah.
But, yeah, in my mind, I kind of lean more towards she.
I guess because... I mean, really, it's because I'm projecting.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Because I like playing as girl characters, obviously.
But I think, like, for me, like, whenever I see, like, androgyny like that, I kind of just, I don't know what it is, I just kind of default towards feminine anyway.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, and I think the whole idea is that Frisk is supposed to be just canonically, like, gender. It's just, like, gender ambiguous.
All the characters call them they. Yeah, they use they.
Them, they, yeah. But, sometimes I don't know,
yeah.
I still think of them, sometimes I just go toward she, maybe because, like, there's the weird, are they sort of the same person, or are they, like, a weird reincarnation of Kara? And I always thought Kara was a girl name, even though Kara is also, their gender is ambiguous as well, like, intentionally ambiguous. But just the name Kara, I always think is like a girl's name. So maybe that's what it is. I don't know. But, like, I try to say they, but sometimes I project and I'm like, it's a girl because I want to keep playing as girl characters in video games. I have simple needs here, people. But yeah, the whole point when Frisk hugs Azrael is
beautiful.
It's beautiful. And have you ever seen the I think it's during Speedy Games Done Quick, when there's a during SDGQ when they're playing Undertale and the whole audience starts chanting "Hug the goat."
Oh, I need to watch that.
I need to link you to it because it's great. Everybody wants to hug the goat.
Oh, that's so cute.
Again, it's like killing Papyrus. You have to be a monster. I know that, like, but then, I mean, like, God, Azrael probably got the worst stick of all of them.
Well, it's a lot like that thing we mentioned when we talked about the Nier episode, where you talked about how I was like, why do they even have the bad choices in the the encouragement things? And it's like, yeah, well, they need them so that you cannot pick them.
Right, yeah, exactly.
And so that's why it is like, yeah, the reason the prompt is there to whether or not to forgive Azrael is so that you cannot pick it.
Yeah, and like, God, Toby Fox, you gave me this great ending, but I still feel so bad for Azrael. I just want to believe that he's okay too, somewhere. Even if it's just, they put Flowey in a pot.
Hold on, I think I lost you
around.
again.
You know what I mean?
So just give it a second.
Did I lose you?
Hold on, I lost you for like 5 seconds.
Did I lose you? Did my headphones finally give out? Oh,
or
nope.
more than that.
Nope.
Let me see here.
Are you there?
There we go. Okay, it's reconnected.
Hey! Internet connections.
Yeah.
Call your congressman to make sure.
Hey,
to make sure they don't kill net neutrality.
Yeah, hey kids, if you like this podcast and you prefer when we don't keep stammering at each other because one of us lost connection for 15 seconds, call your congressman and get them to stop to keep net neutrality around because we need it.
We need it desperately.
Because it might kill the podcast if we don't have it.
It's true. So yeah, that was our plug. Yeah. But, like, I want to believe, even if it's just putting Flowey in a pot and carrying him around in a backpack.
Even I want to believe that's I guess that's what we were talking about is Flowey coming back.
Yeah. That's all.
Yeah,
that's all I ask.
Just be the little meanie friend that everyone still likes and teases all the time. Yeah.
And he kind of, like, slowly learns how to feel things again. Give me that. Come on, game. Come on, Toby Fox. Throw me a bone here. I'm a sad lady playing a sad video game.
No, what I really liked is that reading about the ending where he's like, yeah, take all the ending scenes at face value. Everyone is happy and okay, and things are great.
Oh my god, I know, I'm so glad.
It's like, yes! It was all worth it.
Yes! Everybody is happy, and all of the humans are kind to the monsters, and everybody reintegrates into society perfectly. That's all I ask. I know it's not realistic, and I don't give a fuck. This is a game about talking skeletons, damn it. It's fine.
And Papyrus gets his cool car.
And the king cuts a shrub in the shape of his face, just like he said he would. Papyrus gets everything he deserves in life, damn it. It's perfect. Don't hurt Papyrus, he's beautiful.
As long as Papyrus is happy, I'm happy.
I'm happy! That's all that matters.
Yeah, I was crying a little at the end credits.
I got a little weepy at a few parts for sure because it was like it's so emotionally satisfying. I actually probably got the weepiest. I made the long trek back to the first room of the game where Frisk first falls in. And I went to talk to Azrael. I actually think I probably got the most teary-eyed there for some reason. I don't know, maybe because I have brothers, and I was just thinking, like, oh, what a horrible situation for a brother to be stuck in, oh my god, you know what I mean? But that whole conversation, all of those
oh yeah, well, and also just walking around the underground.
Saying bye,
yeah,
is so beautiful.
And
oh, man.
I didn't hit up everyone, but I hit up all the people I wanted to hit up. I hit up the Temmies, I hit up Burger Pants, I hit up Caddy and Bratty, Monster Kid.
Yeah, like everybody who you want to talk to. I said bye to Girlsby, all those guys. And just the final conversation with Azrael, and like really briefly because we're about to talk about Kara and all of that. I don't know, because of the way the game had set it up with like everything in the pacifist ending and everything in the neutral ending, I didn't expect this idea of Kara being malevolent in any way. I just thought they were a kid with maybe some problems, which is true. But the part when Azrael is like, yeah, Kara kind of hated people and like wanted them to suffer. I was like, oh, okay, that's not what I was expecting.
You get the idea that Kara started out as being just a kid with some anger issues, and then when they hatched their plan, that was the turning point, that it's, no, we're gonna fuck them all up.
Yeah, and you say that, kid with anger issues. It's an interesting thing that Azrael brings up, that, like Kara, he says, nobody comes back from Mount Ebott. So, like, why did you climb this mountain, Frisk? Like, what did you want? And that's such, like, a moment. I was like, oh, man, did this 8-year-old try to kill themselves? Like, it's kind of like this weird implication that, like, maybe they did.
Well, there's only really one thing about you learn about Frisk, and that is at the very end of the game, where Toriel asks, don't you have anyone to go home to?
Yeah.
And you can say no.
Yeah, and they say, like, I have places to go, which is not the same as I need to go home.
Yeah.
Or they can stay with Toriel.
Yeah. It's so... And that's the only indication we ever get as to what Frisk's life is like. Right.
But, that's just enough of an implication, really, to kind of give you an idea of the character. And it does kind of make it even, like, an even sweeter story. This idea of, like, of a kid who doesn't have anything and is just like, I'm gonna climb this mountain because nobody ever comes back from it, and we'll just see what happens. And it's like, like you said, with the whole Sans quote, it's like, you didn't gain love, but you gained love, It's beautiful! It's beautiful! I'm tearing up just thinking about it.
To me, the line is sold with the at the end.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
I love it. But yeah.
Oh my god, it's so good. Undertale is really good.
So let's talk about the bad part, though.
Let's talk about the sad, messed up part of Undertale, because boy, it's compelling in its own horrifying way.
You know, we
right?
Yeah, and I mentioned this before, but like I want to elaborate on it, where it's like, I really, really think that like it's so stark that the genocide run is so soulless compared to how like packed everything about the neutral or like the neutral leaning towards pacifist or even the true pacifist route is, and that like when you are on genocide, you go through Hotland in like 2 minutes.
Oh yeah, there's no the game is completely removed of all of its charm, and that's the whole point. I have a lot of feelings about the genocide route and like why it's not really meant to be played, if that makes any sense.
What I feel about it is that I think it is meant to be played because it does give you some good story about Kara, and it gives you great. And you don't get the full story without experiencing it. You miss out on a lot of Sans and a lot of Kara, who is only very briefly alluded to in the true pacifist route.
Right.
But it is an ending that the game. I said like it feels reluctant to give you. I want to change that. I think it feels more bitter that it's giving it to you.
Yeah, I think bitterness is the right word because the whole
reluctant implies that like it's kind of like more passive. I think the game is mad at you when you do genocide.
I think so too. I really do think. I think the major theme, if there's one thing that Undertale is about, at least I think, I'm sure. I mean, it's about a lot of things. It's about determination and hopes and dreams, and power of friendship, which is corny, but whatever. It's beautiful in this context. If Undertale is about one thing, like one thing for sure, it's about letting go. That's my big hot take on Undertale is that Undertale is about letting it go. It's about letting go of all the bad stuff that you've done and all the bad stuff that's happened to you. The Alphys can't let go of what she did to the Amalgamates. Toriel and Asgore both can't let go of what happened to Kara and to
Asriel.
And even small things like Undine can't let go of kind of this promise that she has to Asgore to bring human souls. The game is about that, and it's about kind of letting go of some of those
hang-ups, those obsessions. Like even Papyrus, who's obsessed with being a royal guard, which he can never be one.
Right.
No matter what happens, Undine will not allow that for him, which can seem mean, but like he's happier once he's allowed to let that go.
Yeah, when he lets it go and is more willing to protect Frisk instead of handing them over to Undine, he's happier that way. And it's not just about letting go of your hang-ups, it's about letting go, like you said, of obsession. And Undertale thematically is about letting go of it'll be hard because I'll probably be talking about this game for the next 6 months, but eventually you even have to let go of Undertale.
Yeah. Well, and what I think mean by that is not let go of it as a game, because the fandom is still huge, and there's still a lot of stuff to talk about, and there's a lot of fan art to reblog.
Oh my god. Help me. Help me.
but the game itself is if once you do True Pacifist, the game actively discourages you from playing it ever again.
Flowey tells you, don't. Yeah. You're ruining all of these people's happiness.
You did it. You brought happiness to everyone. Everyone's doing great. You saved them all.
What more could you want?
Don't do it again.
Right.
And
don't make them relive it over and over again.
And on the flip side, once you do a genocide route, you are locked out of the True Pacifist forever.
Yeah, you're stuck with a soulless pacifist route instead. Yeah. And it's it's like a punishment. It's like it's like a bitterness, like you said. It's you couldn't let it go, and this is what happened.
The difference, and of course, the difference being that you can continue freely if at the end of a 2 pacifist. They will let you do it, but no, once you do genocide, there is no going back ever.
Yeah, I mean, you could fiddle with files, but, like, honestly, it's crazy how well Toby Fox has done to embed these files into the game, to where, like, removing them is kind of a pain in the ass.
And,
like, you have to go through directories and shit like that,
And it's like, the whole thing is that Flowey's like, oh, you think you're immune to consequence. And these people who go through and delete, the necessary files are, like, basically saying, yes, Flowey, you are right. I think I am above consequence.
And, yeah, it's interesting to me, this idea of it's like Toby Fox is saying it to you. Like, okay, you want to keep playing Undertale, fine, here's more Undertale, here's the genocide route, go do what you want, kill all the characters you want, do whatever you want. But the game won't have any of its charm, it won't have any of its fun music or its fun characters. You won't get to do any of that. You won't get to enjoy what makes Undertale. You are literally possessing this game the way that Kara kind of possesses Frisk.
You're forcing it to do something it doesn't want to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, with 2 notable exceptions, and that is being Undine and Sans, but...
Boy, oh boy, they're so cool. But that said, even then, those feel those are like hollow victories, because you're kind of, we were saying that this game does the whole,
heroic.
This game does the whole hero's last stand thing really well.
Yeah.
Except that there's 4 heroes last stands in this game that you can quantify. There's Frisk versus Photoshop Flowey. There's Frisk and saving all the souls of their friends, and then saving Azrael. And then the other 2 heroes last stands are Undine the Undying and Sans versus you.
Yeah, you are the one who was like the song. Undine's song is even called Battle Against a True Hero.
A true hero, yeah.
Like, the whole point is that you are playing the villain here. And
you are doing something, like, legitimately villainous in doing the genocide route.
The reason that Undine becomes Undine the Undying is because she took a blow against Monster, that was for Monster Kid.
Yeah.
And it even killed her in one shot, which is like...
Yeah.
And she's like, you were going to obliterate Monster Kid.
Yeah, he was going to be paste before he turned into dust. And so this goes back to DDLC, if we're going to wrap this conversation back around into Dan Salvato. It is interesting to me, because I mentioned it during DDLC, and I'll mention it again here. Some people have said that they, instead of deleting Monica, they felt so connected to this character, because she does have a lot of really great moments in the Purgatory Classroom, where it feels like she really cares for you. Instead of deleting that character file, they save it on a USB drive to keep it safe. And the same thing, you read about it, I think even somebody I follow on Tumblr did it. They saved their True Pacifist run for Undertale on a USB drive to keep it safe, because it's this question of how much emotional connection do you have to fictional characters?
Yeah.
Like, how real is Monica to you that you're willing to make them suffer? How real are the characters in Undertale to you that you're kind of willing to put them through this? Are you willing to do something horrible just for the sake of video game completion?
Or to satisfy your own curiosity? Because you don't need to know anything about Kara. You don't need to know anything about what Sans is up to, because Sans' whole knowing of the save states is barely mentioned in the normal game. It's kind of hinted at a little bit depending on what you've done, and Flowey hints at it even more. But but Flowey reveals it in the neutral ending. He reveals why he knows his stuff, and same with the so it's you don't need to learn about this. It's to sate your own curiosity.
You learn enough about Kara. You learn enough about Kara just at the end of True Pacifist.
Yeah, you don't need to do this. And, you know, the fact that the game locks you into Soulless Pacifist, and all the advertising is this is the RPG where no one has to die.
Yeah.
So this game is actively encouraging you to play Pacifist, or to play as close as you can, and then do the True Pacifist in the next run, and then be done.
Yeah, and that's the thing, because Toby Fox has a lot to say just by making genocide like such an emotional slog in a lot of ways, about the inanity and uselessness of video game completionism. Just filling out numbers for the sake of filling out numbers. That's why all of the PlayStation trophies for Undertale PS4 and Vita version are useless. You get them because you got, like, you know, you got 1G, or you bought an item, that kind of thing. Or you donate to the dog shrine, you know, the awesome dog shrine. You know, it's about kind of the inanity and uselessness and pointlessness of video game completionism. And so that's basically all the genocide route is about. It's like, are you willing to strip every last bit of charm from this game just for the sake of saying you did it?
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
And
like the playthrough itself just feels so desolate and empty and cold, except for the Undine and Sans fight.
Yeah, and it's all very sad, and the whole "but no one came" popping up on the screen is really, like, the first time you see it, it's really chilling, you know? You're just like, oh, you literally can depopulate an area. Yeah. And
even so, it still calls out cowards like us,
who are only willing to watch it on YouTube.
Flowey straight up says, like, at least you're not like one of those people who just watch the carnage and don't participate.
In my defense, Flowey, go fuck yourself for one. 2, it is super, super hard, not just because, like, the Undine and Sans fights are hard, but also because the way the game is scripted, the further you get in the genocide route, the lower the encounter rate is. So not only does it take a while to depopulate an area just in general, but the further you go, the longer it takes to depopulate an area.
Yeah, I don't have that kind of time.
I got a job, Flowey, and more video games to play, so yeah, I'm gonna watch it on YouTube. Sorry. You're just an asshole flower anyways.
Exactly.
But with all that said about Genocide Route, there are 2 shining moments. Oh my god, they're so cool. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
The Undine fight is so cool, and Undine the Undying is the best, and
the fucking, like, the first time I watched the Sans fight, and it's that first salvo of attacks, where, like, because, like, in every other boss fight in this entire game, Frisk always gets the first attack, right?
Yeah, it's the...
Nope. Not this time.
Yeah, the fact that he's the only character who can dodge.
Okay. But yeah, no, that first opening salvo from Sans, where it's just, like, all of this shit flying at you at once, is, like, the craziest shit I've ever seen in a game.
Yeah, and then you're like, oh, I survived it. And then you try to attack him, and he dodges.
And it's like, oh, I guess it's gonna be one of those. And like, Battle Against a True Hero and Megalovania are both, like, fucking radical attacks. Like, the coolest songs in the game. Like, man, okay? They're so cool.
Listen, like I said, like, yeah, Megalovania is a great song. But it's not the best song in the game. But it's still a great song.
It's still top 5. Like, I think Megalovania is, like, my second favorite song in the game, probably behind Battle Against a True Hero. Like, both of those songs are so damn good. And like, yeah, the only place you can get them is in the genocide route. And, you know, it's crazy, but they both, like, they both get these big kind of character development moments where Undine goes from being like the crazy, goofy, hot-blooded kind of, like, Gynax character, you know, to, like, like, she doesn't have any commentary. She doesn't do the whole, like, draws her thumb across her neck thing.
No.
In the Undine the Undying fight. All it says the whole time is, the wind is howling.
Yeah.
So, you get this great image of just, like, this stone silent Undine who's like, I will put everything on the line to stop this little horrible goblin child. And
even when she does fail, like, even when she does fall, like, it's, haha, I still won because Alphys got everyone out.
Yeah, I bought enough time. Alphys still got everybody out, you know. In the end, you know, she was still, like, heroic. You know, she went from being, like, she just wants to be the cool, boisterous, like, hero character to, like, a genuine heroic moment where she takes a blow for somebody, and then her determination is so intense that she literally brings herself back from the point of death. She's been bisected. Yeah. Like, just, like, cut in half, and she just powers through it. She's like, no, fuck you, I'm not dying yet. And she has the cool light coming out of her eyes, and she's just so intense, and the music is amazing, and I love her. She's so cool.
And then,
you know?
And then Sans, of course, follows up with that with the one-liner. It's a beautiful day outside, the birds are singing, the grass is growing. Kids like you should be burning in hell.
Oh, man.
And so...
Oh, man, it's so good.
And then he keeps track of the number of times he's killed you, and he taunts you every time, and sometimes he skips his intro so the battle just starts.
Yes! He doesn't even drop the kids like you should be burning in hell line. He just starts with, like, this crazy salvo, and, like, the whole time he's, like, taunting you, and he's like, what, you didn't think I'd just stand here and take it, did you? And, like, and the crazy thing is that Sans only has, okay, for one, he only has 1 defense, he only has 1 HP.
Yeah.
And so...
He is the definitive glass cannon.
He is! And the thing is that, for one, he has a, what's it called? It's got a passive ability called Karmic Retribution that negates your invincibility frames.
Yeah.
So, you are taking 30 points of damage per second.
Yeah, if you get caught in a beam, it's just gonna drop you.
Yeah, exactly. And they do poison damage.
Yeah.
Every attack does poison damage. So, it's like this crazy fight where, like, there's tons of things going on because he's borrowing stuff from, like, Papyrus's fight, and he's got the Gaster Blasters, and, like... It's just the coolest goddamn thing!
The gravity shifting, where he drops your heart onto different walls, and the spikes come out. It's
so cool! It's so fucking cool! And the whole time he's, like, knowledge bombing you.
Yeah.
And, like... And then, like, the ending is... I read this. The final attack is 40 seconds long.
Yeah.
You have to survive for 40 seconds, which is a long time in, like, an Undertale battle to be stuck in in the little shooty bang screen, you know?
It's 40 seconds.
It's so rad. I mean, both of those fights are so rad.
That's the idea of that salvo being 40 seconds long is like the opposite of Sephiroth's meteor attack in 7 that takes like an entire minute to go through.
Yeah. And it's just so, both of those fights are so cool because, like, yeah, it's this whole idea of, like, 2 characters who are kind of like, you know, Undine is like a little, kind of a glory hound, even if she does, you know, she loves everybody in the underground, of course, but she still kind of wants to be the cool hero, and it's like it's not entirely selfless, because, you know, nobody can be entirely selfless. She's, you know, ironically, she's human. I mean, she's not, but you know what I mean. She acts like a person, like a real person would. She kind of wants some of that glory, and she wants to be the cool badass. And then, you know, in the genocide route, she kind of has that moment where she, like, pushes past it and decides to do something, like, truly selfless and sacrifice herself to defend everybody and hold back this horrible little goblin monster. And then Sans' boss fight is like, you know, I can't be lazy anymore, because if I do, you're going to get out of here and you're going to, like, destroy everything. And so, like, both of these are, like, big character development moments, and they're inside the fucking genocide route, and all they exist to do is make you look way worse.
And they're also so frustratingly hard that, again, the game is saying, give up.
Yeah, just give up, reset, don't do the happy ending. Yeah, and Sans even says, like, if you were he says if you have the option to spare him in the middle of the fight, and of course,
yeah,
he kills you.
You get dunked on.
Get dunked on! And he says, you know, if you were my friend, if you really are my friend, you'll just reset after this, and you'll go back, and this will be over. Like, we won't do this ever again.
Yeah.
And of course, you keep coming back if you're like, you know, if you want to keep doing it over and over again, you keep coming back. And so, like, even that is, like, another kind of thing from the game saying, like, give up. Like, let it go.
Like,
you know?
to the point that, again, the shops get voided because everyone evacuates. The shops that do remain open despise you. I can't remember the turtle guy's name. The old turtle.
Gerson?
Yeah.
Gerson?
Will
Gerson.
refuse to talk to you about anything, and he will actively mock you for every step. Like, every menu you're in, he'll mock you for. The save points all just say determination.
That's it, yeah.
There's no fun about it anymore.
Which is interesting if you go back to, like, knowing that determination is, like, a quantifiable thing in this world. And so it's kind of like Kara reminding you of that.
Yeah.
Like, this is, like, your determination. Like, you've got determination just coursing through you to do this horrible, horrible thing. And the music, like, slows down to a crawl, and so it's just, like, this sad, oppressive air. There's no charming NPCs anywhere, you know? It's, like, the genocide route is fucked up and you shouldn't do it, but it's an interesting way. It's an interesting little exercise.
It's almost like a necessary evil because someone had to do it so that we could talk about it, you know?
Yeah, and it definitely is a good way to kind of look at, like, Toby Fox's game design philosophy and his philosophies on like I said, like 100% completion and things like that. Like, how important is it to you really? Like, a line that gets actually repeated a lot through the game by a lot of different characters, but especially Azrael, is, don't you have anything better?
Yeah, exactly. Where it's like, you know, it really circles back to this whole idea of, like, how you should play games. And, like, you know, I never like giving blanket statements on this podcast because there's always an exception somewhere. You know? So generally the idea is, like, play however you want. Get all the achievements, you know, grind. Because I love speedruns. And speedruns are breaking a game down to its most basic mechanics and breaking that. It's not about enjoying the story. It's not about, like, having, like, experiencing, like, you know, unique gameplay experiences. It's about going through as quickly as you can. But with Undertale, and also with games like Earthbound or, like, with Nier, where it's like, no, play the game the way that they're, like the creators intended for you to do.
Damn it. Are you there?
Oh my god, did I lose all of that I just said?
You cut out after you said playing the game.
Oh, okay, that's quick. Yeah, I said playing the game the way that the creators intended for you to do it.
Okay.
So it's like, these games, like, you know, like I said, like Nier, Earthbound, or Undertale, where it's like, no, they want you to experience this game a certain way, you know? It's like, you know, it's like you don't read certain books just on the train or, like, on the bus. You sit down in a quiet room and read them. You know, you don't watch certain movies with a bowl of popcorn and your friends. You watch them by yourself, you know, because
to, like, reflect on what's going on.
Yeah, so you can understand it. Like, and so that's what this kind of Undertale is, where it's like, yeah, the genocide route is there and it's important, but it's like it's
not really even meant to be played. It's interesting. You know?
It's like it's like the genocide route exists and it's present and it offers a unique perspective, but it's like the game is like, you don't have to.
You don't have to do it.
You can stop right here. Everyone is happy. You can stop.
And and the interesting thing is you can stop all the way up until Kara offers you, like, their horrible devil's deal. Like, you can, at the moment Kara is like, sell your soul to me and help me erase this world, you can, like, turn the game off and reset right there if you wanted to. So, like, up until even the very last seconds of the game, you have a choice to do the right thing. And if you want, like, at that point, when Kara is like, help me destroy this world and sell your soul to me, like, at that point, you kind of, I don't even know. I don't even know how to, like, put it into words.
It's a point of no return. Like in the most concrete way possible.
Because at that point, it's like you're ruining all future happiness.
When you get to that point, the game is like, it takes until the very end of the game before the game tells you, all right, this is it for you.
Yeah.
If you're going to,
like, this is the moment where you become like a real monster.
Yeah. You cannot undo this mistake.
And even, it feels almost like an out for Toby Fox in a way. It's like, okay, you satisfied your curiosity, and you did the genocide route. And so, like, you're kind of like, you didn't have to, but here you are, and you can let this go. You don't have to satisfy your curiosity about this one thing, you know?
Yeah, you can, there's nothing, like,
to learn from it.
Yeah, once you make that choice, there's nothing afterward. It's just over.
It's just the implication of all future pacifist routes are bad ends.
Yeah,
you know?
Taking Kara's offer is... There's no...
It's kind of the only permanent thing in the game.
There's no story after taking Kara's offer. There's nothing more to sate your curiosity. At this point, you're doing it to mess up your game and mess, like... There's no, like, other benefit, you know. You do the genocide route to see what the story holds. You know, it's still bad, but you have a reason to do it.
Yeah.
So you have no reason like that to take Kara's offer, and that's what makes it really, like, that's why that is the moment where there's no going back, and you can walk up to Kara, quit the game, and reset, and it'll be fine.
And at that point, like I said, that is the only truly permanent decision in the game. Like, everything else can be reset and fixed, but once you sell your soul to basically the khaki-wearing devil, like, that's it for you. You know, you've now kind of set yourself down one path and one path only, so no matter how many times you reset, like, that's it, you know?
Yeah.
And, like, that's super fascinating. Like, that's really interesting and really, really cool. Really cool.
Holy shit, Undertale is such
really
a
cool
good game.
Undertale is really good. And we talked about it for 3 hours.
I think this might be our longest episode, and it's
I think so.
One of the shortest games we've ever played.
But there's so much to talk about.
And
like, there's a lot of content packed into this little game.
And what's really crazy is, at this point, I have, like, basically no desire to replay it. The only chance I might have it replaying it is if, for whatever reason, somewhere down the line, I reformat my hard drive, and I lose my save data for it. Because then I'll have to restore the true pacifist route that I set up.
It's kind of like, it's funny, in a way, it's like replaying Nier Automata to restore that save game so that somebody else can use it to beat ending E.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly.
You're replaying the game to make sure that that happy ending stays in place, you know? It's really cool.
But
it's really smart. It's a good game. It's a good-ass game.
Yeah. But I think that's...
Is that it? Are we good?
I don't have anything else.
Feels good to get all that off my chest.
Burger Pants is great. Burger Pants is one of the best characters. He's
Burger
so
Pants,
relatable.
Burger Pants is relatable if you've ever worked in retail or food services. Yep.
I love his like worried face where he just gets really tiny in the corner.
Yes. And his forehead is huge and he's just like staring off into a corner because boy, that is a really relatable emotion right there where you're just like, I fucked up. I love all of the little NPCs. I like the 2 schoolgirls in Hotland. I've like really latched onto them.
I like
they're cute.
I like Bratty and Caddy. All the shopkeepers are great.
All of the shopkeepers, their screens are beautiful.
Yeah.
I like those. They're the most beautiful animations. Especially the bunny shopkeeper in Snowden. Like hers is so it's so cozy looking. You know what I mean? And like, what else? Everything is so good. Oh my god, I love this game.
Yeah. I think I'm tapped out on Undertale. Like,
I'm tapped out. I feel like anything else we'll probably tweet about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, we don't even have to do our usual outro
No.
because we did it at the beginning.
And I don't think there's anyone to tell the fuck off in this game. Not even Kara and Flowey.
Oh, I got one.
You do?
Fuck that Muffet battle.
Yeah, fuck the battle. Not Muffet
Fuck
the character, but
She's cute. Fuck that fight. It's horrible. Like, fuck you, Toby Fox. Parts of that are literally impossible. I hate you. Kiss my ass. There's no. I'm gonna, after we get done with this podcast, I'm literally going onto YouTube and seeing if anybody has done it without getting hit.
find a Miss Muffet no damage fight. Yeah,
because they exist for like Undine and Sans, but I don't believe one exists for Muffet, and if they do, they're cheating. They're cheating. I don't believe them. All right.
Good night, everyone.
We're done. It's been 3 hours. Good night, everyone.